7 cities built
by JT.
This is NBA Showtime, the 1996 NBA Finals. Here's your host, Bob Costas.
A look at the Space Needle in Seattle. The Sonics trying to launch a comeback here as the scene shifts to the Emerald City for Game 3 of the NBA Finals. Key Arena is the site, and the Sonics will no doubt be buoyed by a high-energy crowd as they look to get back in the series, which, as you know, Chicago leads 2-0. Fans making their way in, still late afternoon. Beautiful sunny day here in the Pacific Northwest. There was only one game this season between the Bulls and the Sonics in this arena back in November, and the Sonics were able to defeat the Bulls in their lone Seattle meeting this year. It's been 17 years since an NBA final game has been played in Seattle. That's when a group led by Gus Williams, Jack Sikma, Dennis Johnson, downtown Freddie Brown, and a young coach named Lenny Wilkins captured the title. Among the current Sonics, Shawn Kemp has emerged as the main man in this series, averaging over 30 a game in the first two, but he'll need some help tonight. And Gary Payton is the guy the Sonics are looking at to pick things up. Just 13 points in each of the first two games for Seattle's leading playoff scorer entering the finals. Michael Jordan still hasn't had that bust-out game everyone knows he's capable of, and Seattle certainly hopes tonight isn't the night that the #1 playoff scorer in history goes wild. Dennis Rodman always on the wild side, making his way in. He went crazy on the boards in Game 2, 20 in all, and a record-tying 11 on the offensive end as he gave Seattle fits in Chicago. Welcome to Key Arena, everybody. Bob Costas upstairs along with Julius Erving and Peter Bessie. Will have a full pregame show this evening, and then Game 3 of the Bulls and Sonics. Tip-off at 7:45 Eastern Time, 4:45 here in Seattle. It's a daunting task the Sonics face, even as they return home for Games 3, 4, and if necessary, 5. Only 2 teams have come back from an 0-2 deficit to win the NBA Finals. The '69 Celtics, Bill Russell's last championship team, which beat the Lakers of Chamberlain, West, and Baylor. And the '77 Trailblazers, Bill Walton's team, which overtook Julius Erving's 76ers. But more to the point for the Sonics is that they must now win 4 of 5 from a Chicago team which, including the playoffs, is 85-11. And they lost 2 games in a row only once all season. Our game reports start with the trio who will call it: Marv Albert, Matt Kukas, and Bill Walton. Marvelous.
All right, Bob, and Bill loves every possible mention of that 77 Portland come-from-behind victory over Philadelphia. So here are the Sonics down 2-0, but their coach, George Karl, likes to look on the brighter side.
We have grown up so much, and mentally we have gotten to a point where Chicago is challenging us. It's mental more than it's physical, in my opinion. And we can't let them win that, because that's where they're dominating. That's where their experience is more valuable to us. And I don't think they're that far from us. I'm sorry. I think there's a lot of equality out there. And I might be the dummy of America right now, but I think there's more equality out there than separation.
All right, Bill, do you buy that?
Marv, George Karl, he seems to be searching, almost pleading for confidence, and he'll certainly get that from the fans today. But Seattle's biggest problem has been their offense, their lack of ball movement, their lack of team play. In the regular season, these guys really passed the ball well and rarely turned it over. In this NBA Finals, through 2 games, absolutely nothing there. But the consolation for Seattle is that 10 years ago, this is where Michael Jordan was, where his teammates were standing around watching him play. Unfortunately for Seattle, they don't have 10 years. They have to win today, Marv.
All right, as for the Bulls today, here are the thoughts of their coach, Phil Jackson.
We know this, that it's a do-or-die game for the Sonics. I mean, this is the one that, nails the coffin lid shut if you can get this game. So we know the Sonics can play a desperate game, and we're going to have to measure that and have the poise to counteract it.
And their backs will be to the wall in this pivotal 3rd game of the series. On a serious note, Matt, it's been a similar pattern for the Chicago Bulls over the first 2 games. They have shut down the Sonics defensively in the 4th quarter.
Well, Marv, Chicago is the best defensive team in the league, and they always seem to save their best for last. 4th quarters in the post, downright stingy and getting better each series. And it's talent, experience, and intensity at just the right time. And That's why Chicago is 2 wins away from winning their 4th NBA championship.
All right, for more on the Bulls and the Sonics, let's check in with Jim Gray.
All right, thank you very much, Marv. Well, I spoke with Michael Jordan, and he told me that the Bulls must be able to withstand the very early surge and all the emotion that will be in this arena from the Seattle Sonics. He says he knows it's going to be loud, wild, and crazy here in this arena. He says we must do everything in the first 10 minutes. We must come out focused. In the past 2 games, the first 2 games of this series, we were lethargic in the first quarter. If we're that way in this game, we will not be able to come from behind because of the emotion of this building. He said we must de-energize them. We must find a way to get out off the blocks early, and that the first 10 minutes will be the most important minutes. He said that a desperate team does desperate things, and that a wounded dog can be a very dangerous dog. Now for more on the Sonics, let's go to Hannah Storm.
Well, Jim, Michael Jordan talking about taking the formidable crowd here out of the game, and that's going to be a tough task early on, as Key Arena is one of the loudest arenas in the NBA, and this city has worked itself up into a fan frenzy following the SuperSonics run to the NBA Finals, as evidenced by this scene at Boeing Field. Now, keep in mind, this is at 3:50 a.m. on Saturday morning. The team arriving from Chicago down 0-2. There were no less than 1,000 fans to greet them at the airport. And the Sonics will desperately need the help of that 6th man, because their fine 6th man, Nate McMillan, off the bench, will be unable to produce for them today. He will not be able to play in the game today, although he seemingly looks fine here shooting around a couple of hours ago. The disc injury in his back is too painful to allow him to play, and he told me unless something drastic happens, we will not see him for the remainder of the finals, because he will risk permanent damage to that back. That has severely damaged the production of the bench, which has only 11 field goals in this series, 10 of them from Sam Perkins, and to match that, they have 11 turnovers. Disappointing from a team that was able to go 9 deep in the regular season. Marv?
Well, I'll take it in this case, Hannah. Thanks for the report. And bad news for the Sonics, and tough news for Nate McMillan, a classy veteran, missing out on his chance to participate in the NBA Finals. Some of the NBA's best defensive players have been on display in this series. Jordan, Pippen, and Rodman were on the all-defensive team, and Seattle's Gary Payton was the NBA's Defensive Player of the Year. But Payton has not come through in this series on the offensive end. Just 13 points a game and a total of only 9 assists in the 2 Seattle losses. Yesterday, he spoke with Peter Bessie.
Are you personally trying to make Michael Jordan eat his words? You guys have been jawing at each other pretty well for 2 games.
Fun thing, you know. It's just
what are you
fun
saying?
between me and him. You know, he's intense. I'm intense. You know, we both competitors. It's nothing against him. You know, I know he's a great basketball player. You know, he is the greatest basketball player that played the game. You know, but you don't back down from him. You know, that what makes him respect you more, when you go at him and he comes back at you. So it's no big thing. You know, me and him, we just having fun out there.
Gary, wouldn't you prefer, as the best defensive player in the league, to guard Michael Jordan MVP?
It probably would be like that, but it can't be like that. Nate is hurting. I'm playing too many minutes for me to spend most of my time focusing in on him. I would have to play at least 35 minutes for me to focus my time more on him and try to defend him. But it can't happen right now. It's just something that happened. Nate McMillan is hurt. I have to play 45 to 46 minutes now. And I'm at a position where I'm at the point guard where I got to control my team more. And if Nate was there and I can go to the 2 and do that, then we can probably mix it up like that. But it's not possible right now.
Gary, Phil Jackson's whole game plan coming into this series was to take the ball out of your hands, the same way he did against Penny Hardaway. Now, once he does that, why don't you demand it? Why aren't you going after it? Or why are you even giving it up against the double team? Shouldn't you play with the double team a little bit more?
No, that's selfishness. I mean, if I play against the double teams, these guys are playing too much great defense. I try to play against them, that's turnovers. I mean, me trying to force my situation is not a good thing for us right now. They're spending so much time of trying to deny me from getting the ball that Hawkins, Detlef Shrimp can penetrate it and make things happen. Sean's having a great series because of this, you know, because they can't double down on him now because one guy is always paying attention to me.
But can the Sonics win with you getting 13 points and 3 assists?
Most people can't. Most people don't think so. But
what do you
think? I think so. I think
really?
so. You seen we was in game 2
without Nate.
Without Nate, you know, I don't know. I mean, with us two, you know, our team is used to us two being there. Me doing a lot more than what I'm doing now. But I still think so. I got a lot of confidence in these guys. They showed me that in game 2. I think that in Seattle it'd be different.
Well, Doc, Gary Payton seems to believe that with him playing more or less as he has, the Sonics can win. But you say he better step up.
I think so, Bob. Gary's playing with a lot of poise and confidence, and I think the Bulls have made him go into a false sense of security about that, as if he's doing enough for the Sonics. Gary's dropped off from 21 points a game in the Western Conference Finals to 13. That's a little too much. In the playoffs, particularly the finals, you got to step up. He's not guarding Michael Jordan, you know, so he's got to pay a little bit more attention to Ron Harper, who has stepped up. Ron would score 3 points a game against the Sonics during the regular season. Now he's scoring 13.5. That should be an embarrassment to the Defensive Player of the Year.
Payton has been on the floor virtually every minute of games 1 and 2, but he's young, and this is the finals, so he can rest very soon. In terms of his observation to you, that they can win with him putting up these sorts of numbers, 13 points maybe, they can survive, but not 3 assists, Pete.
No, not at all. The Bulls definitely have shut down Payton. You might say that they've locked him in the glove compartment. What I've got to see out of Payton from now on, if the Sonics hope to get back into this series, is go on the attack defensively and offensively. Don't be so quick to give up the ball when that double team comes after him. Toy a little bit with it. In the history of this game, only Kevin Johnson and Isaiah Thomas have been small men who can dominate the fourth quarter at this level. I believe Gary Payton belongs in that company. We'll see.
But so far, he hasn't had the kind of impact that the Sonics would have hoped for. When we come back, we'll hear from a guy who has had a major impact so far, especially in Game 2, the multi-hued robo-rebounder Dennis Rodman. That's next when NBA Showtime at the Finals returns.
The most rewarding relationships are the ones that grow with time. It's the same for those of you who choose AT&T, because you understand that the true rewards only come from a lasting relationship. Introducing the new AT&T True Rewards program. Rewards you can get right away, every day. It's our way of saying thanks just for being an AT&T customer. The new True Rewards program. It's one of the rewards of a lasting relationship. That's your true choice, AT&T.
You're going to Atlanta. What do you wear? Champion. Outfit of the U.S. Olympic team.
There's only one garage that's filled to capacity with these top brand tires. The Sears Auto Center. And right now, new Bridgestone road handlers are all on sale at guaranteed unbeatable prices. And remember, the pressure's on us to deliver. Sears new Bridgestone road handlers. No matter what's parked in your garage, chances are you'll find a tire for it in ours.
We've been looking for a house, but nothing feels right. I want one like Mama's. It always smells so good. Of course, I can't quite pull off Mama's recipes yet. Maybe if I had a kitchen I could actually cook in.
For a free guide that can put you on the path to home ownership, call the Fannie Mae Foundation. We're showing America a new way home.
You know training means no day off. What do you wear? Champion. Outfit of the U.S. Olympic team.
Now, a Third Rock Olympic tribute.
It says here the Olympics are an ancient Greek festival of athletics held every 4 years to celebrate Zeus.
Oh, who's Zeus?
Only the doctor who wrote The Cat in the Hat.
Well, boy, is there green eggs and ham on my face.
The Olympics on NBC, July 19th.
The scenic beauty of Seattle, a ferry making its way across Puget Sound. And a view of Key Arena sitting on Elliott Bay. No relation to Willow. An average of 42 inches of rainfall each year in these parts, but it's been gorgeous this weekend. Welcome back to Key Arena. Let's talk about Scottie Pippen. He was originally drafted by the Seattle Sonics, the 5th overall pick in the '87 draft. Then he was quickly traded to Chicago in exchange for Olden Polynice and a second-round pick. Then just a couple of years ago, a deal that would have brought him to Seattle in exchange for Shawn Kemp was seriously discussed. A short while ago, Scottie spoke with Ahmad Rashad.
Scottie, you ever thought about the fact that you could have spent your entire career playing here for the Sonics?
Well, I do at times. You know, I realize it's the team as I was drafted to. There's also been a lot of talk about me being traded here, but I'm very happy that it didn't happen. You know, I'm glad to be back in the Fountains, and, you know, I think Seattle is a great city. I enjoy visiting here, and that's pretty much about it.
All right. Now, you have Seattle in the same spot that you had Orlando, down 2-zip. If you win, they're down 3-zip, and you pretty much take their spirit away.
That's what we have to do. We can't allow this team to gain any confidence by getting a win in this series. And if you allow this series to get 2-1, then they feel comfortable at home. They feel like they can win the next couple games. So our focus today is to come out and win the first game here.
Your biggest concern going into this game?
Well, I think we got to limit our turnovers. We can't play as bad as we did in Game 2 with our turnovers in the first half, because this team really feeds off of turnovers. They score off of turnovers. And if we can limit that, then we've allowed ourselves a chance to win here.
All right. Thanks, Scottie.
Thanks, Mark.
All right, thanks to Scottie and to Ahmad. Now, on this program, we attempt to cover the broad cultural scene, and so we offer this item. Before the NBA season began, Michael Jordan spent several weeks in Los Angeles filming a movie on the Warner Brothers lot. The movie, titled Space Jam, is due out in November, and Michael isn't the only recognizable character in it.
Oh, look out for that first step, Doc. It's a real Lulu.
Bugs Bunny?
You were expecting maybe the Easter Bunny?
You're a cartoon. You're not real.
Not real, eh? If I weren't real, could I do this? Oh, look. Is that Mike? Michael! It's Air Jordan.
I did see Michael Jordan. Pardon me, Mr. Jordan. Could I have your your John Hancock, please?
Yes, this flick will be released in November. Now, I guess I could turn to Julius Erving at this point and say, what's up, Doc? But that would be so obvious and really rather corny.
Oh, it's not raining outside, but the Sonics certainly hope that their Rain Man can be thunderous in here tonight.
So you're just tossing off the carrot.
You're not supposed to talk with food in your mouth.
You know, I'm going to have to try. The star of Chicago's Game 2 win wasn't Michael Jordan, really. It was Dennis Rodman. He was terrific off the offensive boards, grabbing 11 and pulling in 20 rebounds altogether. Then after the game, Rodman welcomed Jim Gray to his world.
With the offensive putback.
Well, Dennis Rodman made that play happen.
I'm the hardest working guy in the NBA, I think, and the hardest working guy on the floor, and people don't give me credit for that.
Look at the hustle by Dennis Rodman a moment ago, and then Dennis saying, so have you read my book?
And people think I'm a sideshow. For some reason, I've been in this business for 10 years and producing and doing the things that help teams win. And it doesn't matter what I say or do off the court. I come to work every day when I'm on the court.
Jerry West told us that you're the smartest player in the NBA. Do you agree with that, are you?
I think I'm witty. I think I'm a little crafty. I don't have to be a scorer to be productive. It's all about knowing your craft and how you can perfect that craft and keep going on the longevity of this business.
Would you say you're instinctive? Would you say that you just work harder to get the ball? Is it a combination of both?
You know, you have to be a specialist. You have to know, you have to visualize what's going to take place the next time the ball hits the rim, next time the ball swings across the court. You got to know what's going on, and you have to visualize that at all time. That's why young guys today that come in this business don't know that.
Dennis obviously not happy with that call.
Game 1 of this series, Michael Jordan came over to you after you got a technical foul.
and was somewhat annoyed and tried to calm you down in the same sense. How would you describe your relationship with Jordan, and has he been a calming influence to you?
No, I think Michael Jordan is his ambassador to the business here. He has to be the conductor. There's the symphony, and Michael Jordan has to be the conductor. He has to make sure that everyone's on key. You know, if it's someone's out of line, he's gonna make sure that that person's gonna play the right note. If not, we have to do something about that. I think we have a good relationship. I mean, it's like a husband-wife team. You know, I got my business, he has his business, and when we need to come together, we come together.
Will you be in Chicago next year?
If I am, great. If I'm not, only thing I can say is thank Chicago for having me here. You know, people say, well,
that simple.
Just that simple. I cannot cry and get all emotional and mad and sad. I can't do that. You know, life is too short. You know, Chicago's been good to me. If the organization don't feel like that, I'm not able to come back and do what I've been doing, that's great. I said, thanks a lot. I've loved Chicago. I appreciate it. But I'd like the people to step up and say, he belongs here. He's earned I trust and I love. He belongs to Chicago. We need Dennis Rodman. If the people don't want to stand behind him, that means I need to move on.
We'll move on here on the pregame show, but we'll have more of Jim Gray's conversation with Dennis Rodman at halftime. And when we come back to Seattle, we'll hear from the Rain Man, the Sonics' Sean Kemp. We'll talk with Peter Bessie after these commercial messages.
When you wear a pro player jacket, it's not just your jacket people notice. It's your attitude. Pro player. Wear the attitude. All your favorite NBA players. 4 new card designs. 5 collectible insert sets. 2 limited edition cards per pack. Fleer NBA basketball. Oh yeah, watch out for hot packs.
The NBA is at your fingertips at NBA.com. You have the computer, you've accessed the internet, now log on to NBA.com for all you want to know about the NBA. Interact live in chat sessions with NBA players. See and hear great plays in the NBA theater. And check out postseason action in the exclusive playoff section. NBA.com. Log on and get connected to the NBA.
You can just pick up a Napa part and feel the quality. When you look at the price, it feels even better.
Pick up your share of quality products at Napa's Red, White, and Blue sale. With Autolite resistor spark plugs only 69 cents after rebate. An Evercraft 25-piece toolkit just $15.99. And STP products free after bonus rebates. So come, save some green at Napa's Red, White, and Blue sale.
America running.
Imagine aliens invaded America in 1947. Imagine everything you know in history is a lie. This fall, you will stop imagining and start believing. Dark Skies. The storm is coming this fall on NBC.
The leading scorer so far in these NBA Finals has been Sean Kemp of the Sonics. Better than 30 a game. Unfortunately for Seattle, he simply hasn't gotten enough help. You can hear the reaction in the background. Moments ago, the Sonics came on the floor to thunderous applause. Now the Bulls are coming out to hisses and boos. Back to, and Dennis Rodman leading the way, always the object of much fan affection when on the road. Now back to Sean Kemp. He has gotten himself into foul trouble throughout these playoffs. He fouled out of Game 1 against the Bulls, in fact. But in many ways, Sean Kemp's game has matured during this postseason. And yesterday, he spoke with Peter Bessie.
Frustration by Sean Kemp. Just let that one go. You got to play above the antics of Dennis Rodman.
Sean, what's the mindset of this team? George Karl told me that coming off that plane or on the plane after game 2, you guys were very, very quiet.
Mm-hmm. A little quiet on the plane, a little disappointed. But, you know, you got to still have hope and believe, and just got to come out and play a little more energy, a little more fire. You know, hopefully make the guys a little mad, a little angry when they sit around and think about it today, and we come out fighting.
What's going to make you angry?
I think just thinking about it. I think anytime that you've had success, and especially when you struggled in the past and you come back and you made it to the championship, now it's hitting you. It doesn't do any good to make it to the championship unless you win it. And hopefully we can start realizing that as a team and come out and play with some fire.
Michael Jordan said that the guys that have not been through this finals experience, his teammates have been passive. Do you notice that with your guys, a change from the previous 3 rounds to this round?
I think so. I think because the defense have picked up the intensity instead of guys being guarded, you know, 10 or 15 feet outside the rim or used to dribbling the ball up court. Now they're being pressured dribbling the ball up court. And when someone's in your face all the time, it makes you want to back down a little bit, not be so aggressive, and it's definitely taking effect on both teams, I think.
Aside from the final score in the first 2 games, what upsets you the most about your team's play?
Not going to be the Bulls team unless you're tuned in for 48 minutes. So I think all of us, not just half of us or some of us, all of us. I think, you know, the first game I had 7 turnovers, even though I scored a lot of points. It was disappointing to me to throw the ball away a couple times at the end. And then, you know, last night we let Rodman come in and get some offensive rebounds, some tip-ins and stuff. And that's all of us not tuning in for 48 minutes.
He posterized Scottie Pippen. Sean Kemp hammering it down.
You've been more mature in this series than I've ever seen you throughout your career. What do you attribute that to?
I think just working throughout the season, being patient. You know, I think, I honestly think that you prepare yourself a few months ago, not just the last couple of weeks for this game here. I think it was prepared a couple months ago. I think just being patient and taking my time and accepting what the defense gives me, I think is helping me out a lot.
It's more than that, though. We're talking mental maturity here, Sean. You're not arguing the calls. You're staying out of early foul trouble. Yeah. Making those free throws.
Which I sat back and I've watched a lot, and I watched Chicago play a lot of teams this playoff. And the one thing that I did see was the first round, they frustrated Alonzo so much where I saw him getting ejected out of the game, and I saw him, you know, really lose control of himself because I knew he wanted to do so well out there. And I think that's what happens a lot, that when you play against Chicago, you know, they're so used to guys just coming out and trying to score offensively on them. Sometimes you get yourself in trouble. So the thing I've done, I think, is really been patient. You know, play defense, get some block shots, rebound the ball, and it keeps me into it, not just at the offensive end, but the defensive end, too.
Why is it always that people react to the Bulls instead of having them react to their team? Why aren't you the same team you were against the Rockets, attacking defensively?
Because of the aggression of the game, I think what happens is that you have a Michael, you have a Scotty, they handle the ball most of the time, so they're aggressive. They're always taking the ball to the rim. No matter what, they're always going and keeping you on your heels. And when that happens, I think teams and players usually have the tendency to, you know, to lose their confidence a little bit.
Okay, what are we going to see in Game 3 that we didn't see before? More contribution from the bench, more energy? What?
Well, I think we need a little more contribution from the bench. Maybe some guys that step up. Sam's played well for us in the last couple games, but I think we're going to have to come in and maybe use Frank a little bit, help us rebound the ball. You know, Irvin may have to stay out of foul trouble a little bit to help us out along in the fourth quarter a little bit. So, you know, somehow we're going to have to utilize our big men a little bit more, I think, later in the game. I think that's what Chicago does a lot is, you know, they switch up big men. Then later in the game, they put their big men in. They're able to get the tip-ins on the offensive board and to have good position on the defensive end.
You know, as these playoffs approached, it appeared for a while that Sean Kemp was regressing. He missed a team flight late in the season. Then in the final meaningless regular season game against the Nuggets, he got tossed for fighting and thus suspended for the first game of the playoffs against Sacramento. But as we turn again to Peter Bessie, ever since those incidents, it looks like he's turned a corner.
I'm really proud of Sean Kemp's development in terms of his game, his personality, and as we just heard his expert analysis of this series, he seems to really be trying to make the concerted effort to do the right thing, as opposed to players like, say, Derek Coleman, who's committed to doing nothing or his thing.
Well, let's turn to the doctor. Your prescription is, Doc, that as good as Kemp has been, he can be better still.
Oh, I think so. Sean Kemp has done an outstanding job as a scorer, rebounder, and as a shot blocker. But the Sonics need for him to do more. You know, Sean has to afford, Coach George called, the luxury of taking him out of a game just to get a blow or to try and exploit different matchup situations. It totally discombobulates a coach's game plan if players are forced out of the game because of fouls. And Sean Kemp and Irvin Johnson have been very guilty of this.
I think I heard most of what you said, Doc, but they're already roaring at Key Arena. So we're closing in on Game 3 of the finals, the game that decides if this becomes a series or if Chicago puts the champagne on ice. We'll hand it over to Marv Albert, Matt Gukas, and Bill Walton for the call as the NBA Finals continue on NBC after these messages from your local station.
Tuesday, it's the NBC Tournament of Neurosis Parade with psychological disorders from Third Rock, News Radio, Frasier, and Wings, featuring passive-aggressive behavior, just plain old aggressive behavior, a feeling of alienation.
I'm not human.
Okay. And an Oedipus complex.
Oh, mommy.
You'd be crazy to miss it, NBC Tuesday.
Your Ford dealer presents Trucks 101, a brief lesson on America's best-selling trucks. Only Ford has America's best sellers, period. Like Ford Ranger, America's best-selling compact pickup for the past 9 years. And now, during Ford Truck Month, you can get low 4.8% financing or $600 cash back. Choose the cash and save over $2,200 on this Ranger XLT model. Any questions? Then class dismissed. To go see your Ford dealer.
When you come to Western Auto, you'll find that our guaranteed low prices on starters, alternators, carburetors, plugs, shocks, batteries, brakes, drums, rotors, belts, hoses, engines, air filters, oil filters, U-joints, fuel pumps, and a whole lot more are simply unbeatable. Western Auto. Serious parts, serious savings.
Now at Western Auto, get Gunk Heavy-Duty Engine Cleaner for just 39 cents and Slick 50 Fuel System Formula for $8.97 or STP Fuel Injector Cleaner only $1.67. Western Auto. Serious parts, serious savings.
Terry and I are just, regular people that go to the store like anyone. We have 4 kids, and so pricing is very important to us. We look for value, and price is a big part of that. What's different about Freedom Ford is this. You get our lowest price guarantee. It saves people usually several $100s, sometimes $1,000, but at the same time, you get an exceptional level of service. That's a different emphasis. That's a different priority, and that's what makes Freedom Ford different.
A ship collides with a nuclear sub in Newport News. Find out more later.
This is the NBA on NBC. The 1996 NBA Finals.
It is a beautiful 65-degree day in the Pacific Northwest as you look at the new Key Arena located in downtown Seattle. This capacity crowd of better than 17,000 is hoping their Sonics can get back into the series after losing the first 2 games on the road. It's the Chicago Bulls and the Seattle Sonics in Game 3 of their best of 7 NBA Final Series. Hi, everybody. I'm Marv Albert along with Matt Gukas and Bill Walton. And, Bill, the major concern of the Sonics, the fact that their all-star point guard, Gary Payton, just has not done it in games 1 and 2. What do you look for tonight from Payton?
Marv, Seattle's making this just way too complicated, and because of it, Gary Payton had been a non-factor offensively. Late in Game 2, Gary Payton had a terrific look, wide open with the game on the line, and he barely drew iron. the frustration so very evident. He's their dominant offensive weapon. He carried them through the Western Conference playoffs, but in the finals, he's been virtually non-existent. Now, the strength of Gary Payton is his competitiveness, and the decision not to put Gary, the Defensive Player of the Year, on Michael Jordan has totally taken Payton out of his game. He needs to ride the fans, Marv, their emotional lift, and have a breakout game against Jordan.
And Matt, it's clear in the first 2 games of this series, the Sonics' major emphasis has been in the direction of Michael Jordan.
Seattle's strategy has been to double-team Michael Jordan. Easier said than done. He is too quick and too alert. In the post, Jordan knows help is coming. He feels the double team coming from the top, but escapes with a hard spin to the baseline. No weak side help and no chance. Then with Detlef Schrempf on Michael, Hersey Hawkins comes to double. Then Gary Payton makes it a triple team. And all fail to keep him out of the middle. The draw dish to Pippen for one of his 8 assists in Game 2. Now this production would be outstanding for anybody else, but Michael is not satisfied at all. You get the feeling that Michael is due for a monster game before this series is over.
Well, they are pumped here in Seattle, ready for Game 3 when we come back. Figures to be a wild scene for the introduction of the starting lineups.
Oh, Bill, did I tell you what Patty said that Rachel heard about what Mark said about Patty? Well, Bill, are you listening? Anyway, Patty ran into Rachel, who had run into Mark at a party. So, according to Bill, are you listening to me or to the game?
5 ticks left on the clock. Missiles down by 1. Just a reminder, this game brought to you by Miller Lite. When you've got the great taste of an ice-cold Miller Lite, life is good. Smith inbounds to Wakeman through the paint. Tomahawk jam. Yes!
Life's funny. You never know what to expect. But you do with the Toyota Corolla. It comes equipped with a 20-sensor self-diagnostic system to help ensure things are exactly as you'd expect at every turn. Life's full of surprises. Your car shouldn't be one of them. The newly restyled Toyota Corolla. It's where 28 years of innovation have taken us.
Carbon monoxide isn't the only thing to worry about coming from your tailpipe, because with every stroke of your engine, motor oil is being vaporized into exhaust, leaving less and less protection. That's why there's Castrol GTX 10W30. Of every leading 10W30, Castrol provides the most protection against volatility burn-off. So use Castrol, or watch more of your protection go up in smoke. Castrol GTX, the most protection against volatility burn-off.
The NBA on NBC is brought to you by Miller Lite. With a great taste of an ice-cold Miller Lite, life is good. By Toyota and their full line of quality cars and trucks. Toyota, I love what you do for me. And by MasterCard. It's smart money.
We welcome you back to the Key Arena in Seattle. And they are standing and cheering for the Seattle SuperSonics, who are 44-5 here at home, including the playoffs, and that also includes a victory over the Chicago Bulls last November. We're set for the introduction of the starting lineups. Let's go to the public address and Jim Gracie.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Key Arena at Seattle Center for Game 3 of the 1996 NBA Finals between the Chicago Bulls and your Seattle SuperSonics. And now, ladies and gentlemen, today's starting lineup. First of all, for the visiting Chicago Bulls. A 6'4" North Carolina, number 23, Michael Jordan. 6'7" forward from Central Arkansas, number 33, Scotty Pippen. And the 6'6" forward from Southeastern Oklahoma State, number 91, Dennis Rodman. And the head coach of the Chicago Bulls, Bill Jackson.
Crowd is ready, as are our Ahmad Rashad and Hannah Storm. We have reports from both. Let's start with Ahmad.
All right, thanks, Mark. First, a change in the Chicago Bulls starting lineup. Tony Kukoc will start for Ron Harper, who will not start because of a sore left knee, but although he will be available. Now, in Game 2, Michael Jordan and Gary Payton finally got together for a little on-court conversation. Now, while it was very animated, Michael told me it was still friendly. He said he was welcoming Gary to his home and reminding him that they had no chance of winning there in his house. Now, Gary reciprocated by saying, well, on Sunday, you got to come to our place, and things will change. Now, Michael told me that he doesn't like having these kind of conversations on the court. He'd rather let his playing do his talking, and he feels like he struggled the first 2 games, and now it's time to have one of those statement games. For more on it, Seattle side of it, let's go down to Anna.
Well, Michael Jordan is still the Sonics' priority on defense. Sean Kemp told me today that during their practice yesterday, they worked on defensive adjustments on Dennis Rodman, who killed them with 11 offensive rebounds in Game 2. He said that during crunch time, instead of rotating off Rodman, they're going to treat him like a shooter. They're going to designate a defender to box him out. That defender's either going to be Sam Perkins, Frank Rakowski, or perhaps even the strong and quick Vincent Askew. It will not, however, be Sean Kemp, creating some potentially strange matchups in certain situations. Kemp said the main thing they emphasize, being aware of Rodman at all times, even though he may not be a scorer, recognizing that he is a formidable force on offense. Mark?
All right, Hannah. And as we saw prior to Game 7 of the Seattle-Utah series, the Sonics have added what can be labeled a new twist in revving up the crowd. Well, boxing ring announcer Michael Buffer making the trip to Seattle, but you know, he might want to consider switching to the decaf latte. The officials, Dick Bavetta, Steve Javy, and Hugh Evans. A reminder that the Sonics and the Bulls are well aware of. Only 2 teams in the history of the NBA have been able to come back from an 0-2 deficit. Bill's Portland team did it in 1977 over the Philadelphia 76ers. Boston did it in 1969 against the Los Angeles Lakers.
Seattle's got to have a great start today to give these fans some hope and keep them cheering. Plus, they have to attack and execute on the offensive end, fight through the fatigue.
And the Bulls say they are ready for this emotional onslaught from this crowd. They know the Bulls, that is, cannot ease into this ballgame. Seattle is starting to gain some confidence.
It is Irvin Johnson and Luc Longley on the opening tip, and taken by the Bulls. Tony Kukoc in the starting lineup for Ron Harper, as Ahmad mentioned, because of the left knee bothering Harper, but he is expected to see action. Jordan going at Hawkins to the fadeaway. Rodman missed the tip. Longley missed. And Payton came up with the loose ball. So the Sonics to the offense for the first time, and it is Jordan guarding Payton. Schrempf played by Kukoc. Backs him in and feeds to Kemp. Rodman with the rebound. Dennis coming off the 20-rebound performance in Game 2. Longley. Well, Chicago had missed its last 12 shots. That figure dating back to Game number 2. And Luc Longley scores for the Bulls. Longley knocked it away. And a foul is called.
Well, Luc Longley got off to such a terrific start in Game 1. A lot of it was because Irvin Johnson was looking to help other people out. Here, a terrific defensive play by Longley to first strip and then hold his position against Shawn Kemp.
And a bad pass, so the Sonics give it right back.
Shawn Kemp jumping in the air to pass. Cardinal sin in basketball. I don't see what Luc Longley did to deserve that foul. He stood totally still.
Here is Kukoc. Well, Michael Jordan had a little chat with Tony Kukoc during the course of Game 2 and felt that he was a bit on the passive side. You recall he was tentative, held back in taking shots. And again, the ball to the Bulls, a traveling violation. And Tony Kukoc took some big shots in the third quarter, and as he did in Game number 1, helped to turn things around. Pippen able to save that backdoor pass. Here is Jordan for 3.
The Bulls continue their terrific ball movement, and I like the fact that Michael Jordan is guarding Gary Payton here. He is not going to let Gary Payton get off.
Well, Payton does get it off and hit. What are you saying, Bill?
Timing.
Right in your face, Walton. You're next.
Bulls 7 and the Sonics 2. And the Bulls able to get off to the quick start. Jordan setting up Longley. Yes. Talking to the Bulls prior to tonight's game, they're all concerned about the energy lift that this crowd would provide Seattle. Well, they took care of that with the fast start.
Well, Chicago looked sluggish and slow of foot in Game 2. Much quicker here to start Game 3.
Sam Perkins getting set to come on. Early substitution.
George Karl not giving anybody a chance to play as Jordan will drain this 3. You can just see, as Ahmad was pointing out, the focus, the determination, and the fact that he's guarding Gary Payton.
Schrempf got the step. Open shot for Perkins. And it's Rodman with the rebound.
George Karl yanks Irvin Johnson, who did nothing right or nothing wrong, but in a couple minutes, what do you expect? And then they give Sam Perkins a shot too early.
Here comes Schrempf. Hawkins. And Payton from deep in the corner. Rodman for Jordan. 2-on-1 development. The lead for Kukoc. Stopped by Hawkins. And a jump ball. Good play by Percy Hawkins. Hugh Evans called a jump ball, but the outside official, Dick Bavetta, has called a foul on Hawkins.
Well, Michael Jordan and Tony Kukoc continue to have a little bit of discussion. I think Michael was disappointed that Tony could not catch and finish on that lob, but he didn't have his steps right. His timing was off, so all he had to do is he made sure he kept possession of the basketball. That was a smart thing.
Pippen got the step and puts home the putback.
It's always funny because a great player. Oh, they're going to call a foul on Rodman in the transition game. Or not a foul, excuse me.
Now they do indicate a foul call. It is on Rodman, and a timeout is taken with 8:29 remaining in the first quarter. The Bulls with an 11-2 advantage.
NBA.com. Log on and get connected to the NBA.
Anyone, anywhere, anytime.
This man thinks he's just won the lottery. He hasn't. He also thinks he's tasted new Miller beer. He hasn't.
Brand new Miller beer. Why miss out? Look for the red label.
Okay, so you're out in the middle of nowhere, trapped inside a giant maze. A 10-ton ball is chasing you. It's trying to crush you. Hey, it could happen. A powerful, comfortable T100 extra cab. It's the Toyota of big trucks.
I can't believe this has happened to me. I mean, the car tires are gone and the battery's gone.
Everybody goes through bad times. And you can see them change if you calm them down, or you explain something to them when maybe they were feeling in a position of powerlessness. Robin, could you call a cab? That's a tow truck. a great feeling. Breathing. When something happens to somebody else, I want to give that back.
Thank you so much.
I think that's what this is all about, really.
Being in good hands is the only place to be.
Now, this couple thinks they've just stretched out on a bearskin rug. They haven't. They also think they've tasted new Miller beer. They haven't. Brand new Miller beer. Why miss out? Look for the red label.
Although the Bulls won Game 2 on Friday night in Chicago, Michael Jordan was not pleased with his own play or with the play of his teammates, and we talked about that earlier with Michael.
Well, I thought we were not preparing ourselves appropriately for the game, mentally. I think Phil and the coaching staff have done a heck of a job in trying to get us prepared for the game strategically, but I think what we have to do is consume all that and then go out there and execute it properly. And we got to have the right mental preparation to do such. And I felt we were, because at home, taking things a little bit for granted, a little lightly, and it showed in the first half.
Well, it has not appeared to be the case here at the start. And Gary Payton has come out firing away. You just saw that air ball from deep in the right-hand corner.
He's taken lots of shots, but those shots have got to go in. Seattle 0 for 3 from behind the line, continuing a disturbing trend as Jordan making that statement game, going at who's ever guarding him.
Well, whatever the Bulls did yesterday at practice and what they talked about today, they are moving their bodies and moving the ball. The offense is crisp.
You mentioned the disturbing trend as Kent is able to get position inside. The disturbing trend from three-point land. They are now 8 for 34 from downtown in this series.
Well, that's been the focus of Chicago's defense throughout the playoffs against every team. They do not want to give open looks to anybody.
Tony Kukoc with a beautiful move. He's hit 2 of 3. And the Bulls are up 15-4. Another bad pass. The sloppy play by Seattle continues.
Assist to turnover ratio. We talked about it at the open. Plus, you get this sense that this is like Game 3. Chicago at Orlando, that 20-point victory. Chicago came out and played perfect basketball, particularly from the defensive end.
Backdoor lead for Longley, who blew the layup. And here's Kemp. Offensive foul. It's a charge on Kemp.
Well, Dennis Rodman saw that one coming from about 30 feet away, and he couldn't believe that Shawn Kemp just kept coming and coming and coming. He was standing there waiting forever. The offensive charge.
Another turnover. And twice now, Jordan at the offensive end has thrown loud passes, once to Kukoc, once to Longley. I don't know if they work on those in their native Yugoslavia and in Australia. They need more television sets over there.
Bill turning very, very cruel here.
Well, that's how you learn the game, Marv, is as a kid watching the games.
We may see Michael curb those lob passes the rest of the way.
Throw them to Scotty and Rodman.
Illegal defense was just called for the first time against Seattle. Here's Kukoc for 3. Well, Phil Jackson forced to go with Tony Kukoc as the starter because of the knee problem suffered by Ron Harper, and Kukoc has come out on fire. 3 of 4, 7 points. 18-4 Chicago lead. Shrek for 3. Did not hit the rim.
Very poor offensive execution. To not the kind of start that Seattle needed. Chicago is playing perfect.
And here's Pippen drawing the foul.
Well, all season long, when Tony Kukoc has had the opportunity to start, he has delivered. In all of his statistics, much, much better. He's always been comfortable as a starter. You could see it in his eyes in this one. I think Seattle came out in this ballgame maybe relying too much on the emotion of the crowd in this building, and they have yet to settle down and just do not know where they want to go at the offensive end. Very haphazard.
It is now Chicago 19 and Seattle 4. Percy Hawkins trying to put the move on Tony Kukoc. Shawn Kemp. And the Sonics are now rushing shots. Longley with the pick.
Oh, beautiful pass.
And the Bulls showing their usual superb ball movement. Jordan, the tip by Pippen. What an effort to get to the ball.
Marv, Chicago's tipping a lot with great positioning, but they bring those down and just try to go up with them again rather than very difficult tips which aren't falling right now.
Well, the crowd wanted a foul. Percy Hawkins challenging Luc Longley. It will be Seattle ball, 17 on the shot clock. Schrempf.
Well, I thought the Sonics had a notion early in this game. They wanted to go at Kukoc with Schrempf. They went a couple of times. Detlef didn't take the shot, but there's a mismatch there. They looked at the tape of the game the other day. Tony Kukoc has trouble guarding anybody.
Longley try to bank it. Kemp on the rebound. Hawkins 3-on-1. Payton for Perkins. Nicely done. And that gets the crowd going. The Bulls with a 19-8 lead. Delay of game warning with the Sonics batting the ball away following this.
Well, the 3-on-1 set up by Michael Jordan, gambling just over midcourt, going for the steal, and Tony Kukoc had to feel like Custer there.
And the Bulls call for time. 4:50 remaining in the first quarter.
It's mine. It's all mine.
They have now entered Prague.
What? This is impossible.
Entering Yamato.
How can they do this?
Madrid.
Stop.
Abu Dhabi.
Stop.
Every day, MasterCard opens over 3,000 new acceptance locations worldwide.
Oh, at least we still have Cochabamba.
No! MasterCard. It's smart money.
Deluxe your luck with the McDonald's Deluxe Monopoly game insert in today's Sunday newspaper. 2 chances to win big instantly. So pull the tickets. There's a $1 million instant winner in someone's paper. It could be in yours.
It has the highest ground clearance in its class. But more importantly, 1996's Pickup Truck of the Year comes with 190 horses, all with big chips on their shoulders. Toyota Tacoma. You simply can't buy a more powerful compact truck.
Hey, you're a guy, and guys want to stay cool. How do you do it? With new Speed Stick Gel, proven to keep you drier than any other gel. It's the best gel protection. New Speed Stick Gel, just for the guys.
Taste that won't fill you up and never let you down. Make it a Bud Light.
Now you can follow the NBA Finals on the World Wide Web at Finals.com. Game previews, player bios, audio and video clips, and more. Finals.com. Check it out.
Back at Key Arena, where the Bulls have an early lead on the Sonics, 19-8. An animated Seattle huddle. Nate McMillan, the injured co-captain of this team, trying to pump up his teammates, saying, you're reacting to the situation. You're thinking too much. You've just got to play and let this game come to you. Sam Perkins telling his teammates, we're rushing, we're forcing shots, and we've got to stop doing that. And then George Karl telling them to take care of things on the defensive end and get into the regular rotation. Start it with the defense. Ahmad?
All right, Hannah, the story on Ron Harper. He irritated his knee the last couple of days in practice. He came out today in the pregame warm-ups, and it was really bothering him, so he wasn't able to start. He's been in the back riding a bicycle, trying to stretch it out, trying to get ready to play. He's back on the bench now and appears that he may be able to play. We'll keep you posted, Marv.
All right, thanks, Ahmad. Here's Jordan as we resume. Hacked by Hawkins. Steve Kerr has come on for the first time. Percy Hawkins picking up the foul, his second.
Michael Jordan works that weak side post on the triple post offense so well. He gets the isolation, something that Phil Jackson's trying to get him into quickly. The slap on the wrist. You know that Ron Harper's got to be in a tremendous amount of pain because Harper is one of the toughest guys in this league, Marv. He plays through injuries so many times. It's got to be killing him and Nate McMillan that they can't be out here.
And Hawkins sits down, replaced by Vincent Askew. George Karl is looking for a lift from Askew, who has been getting the minutes off the bench in 2 games, but only 1 of 5, and he's turned it over 5 times. Sonics trying to break. Payton got the roll, and it's the Bulls 21-10 over Seattle.
The first time in this series that the Sonics have attacked that full court trap after a free throw, and they get a terrific look and finish.
The lead for Jordan, and he misses the layup, but Longley is able to convert. What's going on here?
A terrific pass by Rodman. They read that backdoor play perfectly. What mental communication. Thing of beauty to watch.
Bulls 23, Sonics 10. Schrempf for 3. And last touch by Kemp.
Hannah was right on it. Seattle is confused. They're trying to do too much, trying to think too much. Keep it simple, play basic basketball like the Bulls.
And you see the rebounding advantage again for Chicago. We are seeing the best spurt of basketball that the Bulls have shown over the first 2 games and a quarter. Here's Longley getting inside. Nice move by Luc Longley, and the Bulls now lead 25-10. It has not been impressive for the Bulls, although they did win the first 2 games. Steve Kerr said the other day the Bulls have actually played only 3.5 good games in the entire playoffs.
It's nice that they set such a high standard for themselves. That's one of the reasons they've dominated basketball this year.
Kemp able to save it. Shot clock is rolled down to 3. Down to 1. And it is a 24-second violation. What a defensive sequence by the Bulls.
But Seattle's forwards on the offensive end are really giving them nothing. These are their creative forces, Kemp and Detlef Schrempf. These guys are jumping in the air to throw wild passes, not making good, strong, authoritative moves to the hoop.
3 minutes to go in this first quarter. Here's Kerr from way downtown. His shooting has been off in this series.
Well, Steve has been unable to make him from the new three-point line. He's moved further back. Feels he can maybe get his touch again.
Perkins off the head fake. Sam Perkins with a strong move. Bulls 25. And the Sonics 12.
Longley unable to control Perkins. Perkins is left-handed, Luke.
Jordan, yes. 9 points for Jordan. He's hit 3 of 7. Not seeing many stops at the other end of the court as Chicago goes to the offense. They have been scoring at will in this first quarter.
That's a classic example of just what great offense does to a very good defense. One of the top-rated defenses in the NBA, Seattle, this year.
And a 3 for Jordan. That gives him 12. Bulls lead 30-12.
Well, the Chicago Bulls respect the defense of Seattle. I think that's why they came out. They knew they would be tough in this building. That's why they have come out. They spaced the floor beautifully and passing the ball and making their shots do it too.
The steal by Jordan, leading to the breakaway by Pippen. Oh, the Bulls are just eating up the Sonics in this opening quarter with 1:35 remaining. It's the Bulls 32 and the Sonics 12. 22nd timeout called by Seattle.
Michael Jordan hits the three-point shot and then comes right back on the defensive end on the advancement of Seattle's offensive possession. The look-away pass and Scotty off to the races. And you have to wonder if Chicago was just toying with Seattle back in the Windy City.
You're the one I can count on day after day. There's no second guessing. Show me the way. You're a part of me. That's the heart of me. Together we are harmony. Dr. Pepper, you're a part of me.
Whoa, check it out. Yeah, the new Jet Ski 1100 ZXI watercraft. The best from 95's Watercraft of the Year. Plus more power, auto trim, radical carving, and Kawasaki's air induction system hull for better acceleration, higher performance. Cool. I want it. I want it. I want it.
Get up to $1,500 cash back or 0 down 9.9% financing through June 30th.
He didn't pay.
They never do.
Now Snickers is even more peanuts. Tons of them.
Now, a Seinfeld Olympic tribute.
Hey, look. Supposed to tip on a takeout order?
Not when you're carrying the torch.
The Olympics on NBC, July 19th.
Well, a 20-point lead for the Chicago Bulls with 1:35 remaining in this first quarter. The largest lead at the end of the first quarter in the history of the NBA Finals. 20-point lead by the Lakers over the New York Knicks back May 6th, 1970. That was game number 6 of that best of 7, followed up by the long-remembered Willis Reed appearance in Game 7 back at Madison Square Garden, leading to the victory in the series by the Knicks over the Lakers. Pippen on a lead for Rodman. And the onslaught continues.
And no excuse for that on the part of Seattle. Just very poor transition defense. Had plenty of time to get back and cover up in the lane.
We're approaching 1 minute left in this first quarter. Trent. Reverse. Able to recover. And the Bulls now lead 34-14. Ron Harper is on the floor for the first time. Did not start because of the knee problem. Michael Jordan sitting out here in the final minute and a half of the first quarter. So Harper and Kerr at the guards. Kukoc, Pippen and Rodman up front. Kukoc forcing. And Payton in the open floor. Hit from behind by Kukoc.
Well, every opportunity that the Bulls get to run, they will, whether it's a steal, whether it's a rebound. This, the outlet pass of Scottie Pippen, getting out, getting the lead pass from Kerr, and attacking the defense, and just Dennis Rodman sneaking in on that right side, even though Pippen jumped in the air, plenty of time to find the open man, Rodman.
The Bulls get out of their offense when Jordan goes to the bench. Scottie's got to take a more assertive role.
Perkins able to save that pass, nearly thrown away by Askew, and a foul committed by Kukoc, his second.
Plus, when Luc Longley was in, he did a good job staying in front of that basket, forcing the Sonics to the perimeter game. Longley goes to the bench, and Sonics having some success at the hoop.
Sam Perkins at the line with the Bulls over the limit. Sam coming off a 5-for-10 shooting performance, 13 points in game 2. Now Jordan returns. Harper sits down.
Don't know if Harper's going to be able to give much today. He looked a little gimpy out there, Marv.
Seconds remaining in the quarter. 18-point Chicago lead. And the Bulls holding for a final shot. Down to 5. Jordan putting moves on Askew. 1 second remaining. Well, Askew played him well. So the Chicago Bulls in command after 1. They are up 34-16. Tony Kukoc providing a lift in the starting lineup at 3 of 5, 7 points, 12 for Michael Jordan. We'll be back in Seattle right after these messages.
It's bigger than its predecessors, more powerful, and yet beneath its tough exterior, it's also more accommodating and approachable. Plus, it's available in 2-wheel or 4-wheel drive. Introducing the all-new 4Runner. Sophisticated, refined, fearless.
Hey, you. Want to get this Motorola pager? Yeah! Okay, first do this. Then send in $35 and 10 proofs, and you'll get this. Plus 6 months of free airtime from Mobilecom. But that's not all.
Wink? That's right. Each week you'll get beat for great deals on fabulous stuff like this. Donnie, tell them what else they can win. A new car.
Nice Hummer.
Do the do. Get the pager. Join the network.
You were chicken as a little kid. You were chicken as a bigger little kid. And now that you're grown up, you've got one last chance to do something really, truly daring. Chicken pizza? Sure, we know it sounds scary. But come on, you can do it.
Great.
Sure it is. With 100% chicken breast and 100% Pizza Hut pizza, it's delicious. You'll never be chicken again.
Hi, what's your name?
We stand corrected.
This is the NBA on NBC, the 1996 NBA Finals.
Well, the Bulls with a 34-16 lead on the Sonics as we head to the second quarter here in Seattle. Eddie Vedder of Pearl Jam on hand. He was at the two games in Chicago, a native of Seattle, although has ties to Dennis Rodman. And there's Kenny G, who did a terrific job with the anthem prior to the game, although Bill Matt was disappointed. He thought Kenny G would sing the anthem. A little confused about it.
Kenny is a regular Sonic fan. Played the national anthem the opening night here, but the Sonics are shooting themselves in the foot here. They got 6 turnovers. They're 0 for 6 from behind the line. They've given up 6 offensive rebounds. They're down 18 points.
Well, George Karl was telling us on Showtime that he thinks it's mental, not physical. It may be a bit of both here in the first half.
Well, the Bulls have brought their A game in that first quarter.
Nice move by Payton. And it's now Chicago 34 and Seattle 18. Bill Wennington on the floor for the first time. Jordan with Pippen, Kukoc, Wennington, and Rodman. Shot clock at 6. Jordan got the step, rejected by Kemp. Sean Kemp came over and made the block.
Jordan is very frustrated. Just 2 seconds on the shot clock. He is playing so well. His teammates, Kukoc, not keeping up with Michael Jordan today, and he's frustrated about it.
All right, Jordan. Will it count? No. 24-second violation.
Well, Dick Pavetta, the trail official, having a look at this, but so difficult to hear. You see the shot clock on the left part of your screen. Very, very close. Michael Jordan in his inner ear, he felt it was good. But Bill, you have gotten the matchup that you have wanted so far in this series. Payton and Jordan finally matched up.
And that was the first turnover committed by the Bulls. Foul on Wennington.
I just don't understand why Seattle waits for game 3 to get it going.
Or till you get behind by 16.
Absolutely.
Payton, Askew, Hawkins, Perkins, and Kemp on the floor for George Karl. Here's Payton for 3. They cannot hit the three-point shot. They have missed their last 14 from three-point range.
And that one didn't have a chance. It didn't look good at all.
Wennington run into by Askew.
And right away now, Michael realized that he is being defended by Payton. He is just going to run to the low blocks on either side and try to be the post man in this triangle offense and try to get inside as much as possible. Not that Payton is much smaller, but Jordan's certainly stronger than Gary Payton inside.
And you recall they got involved in a heated exchange during the fourth quarter on Friday night. Jordan said it was just conversation. He said he can't get in my head, and I'm pretty sure he's not going to let me get in his head. Jordan said to this point, that is a standoff. Kukoc. Oh, what a move by Jordan, but not able to hit.
Just watching Jordan and getting in up close to his face and seeing the defensive effort.
Askew with the floater. And the Sonics showing some signs. They are now down by 14.
But Jordan's presence just so inspirational.
And the crowd very much back into it. Hugh Evans calls the foul on Gary Payton. 8:01 by Seattle.
And right away, Michael wanting to take that weak side post position against Payton, and Payton battles hard. This is why he is the defensive player of the year, and really, that was not a foul. That was just good, hard, tough post defense. If that were two big men, they wouldn't have blown the whistle.
And the battle continues between Jordan and Payton. Jordan turned it over, picked off by Hawkins, who was blocked by Pippen for the foul on Scottie Pippen.
And Michael is forcing things a little bit right now. He wants to take it to Gary Payton in every opportunity.
Timeout taken by Phil Jackson. 2:04 gone by in the second.
The NBA Finals continue. Game 4 Wednesday night at 9 Eastern on NBC.
Everything's gone deluxe at McDonald's with the Deluxe Monopoly game and the grown-up taste of the Arch Deluxe. Better chances of winning big instantly, too.
I want a car!
Even the prices have gone deluxe. Win Celine Mustang Speedsters instantly. Apple Macintosh Performers instantly. And Citibank Gold Visa shopping sprees instantly. Game pieces are on the new Arch Deluxe and these McDonald's favorites. So win deluxe prizes instantly at McDonald's.
On Saturdays, your customers can receive two-day packages from FedEx. Cost? An extra $10.
On Saturdays, your customers can receive 2 to 3 day priority mail packages from the U.S. Postal Service. Cost? $3. And there's no extra charge.
On Saturdays, your customers cannot receive two-day packages from UPS. Sorry.
So, what's your priority? Priority mail from the U.S. Postal Service.
Plymouth has new ways to shop for a car. Hop on the internet at home or visit Plymouth Place, our interactive computer at your local mall, where you can create your own customized Plymouth Neon, Voyager, or Breeze. Take a test drive on the Information Superhighway, where you'll discover that Plymouth is fun, affordable, and a whole new way to shop for a car.
The NBA on NBC is brought to you by Plymouth. One clever idea after another. That's Plymouth. By Microsoft. Where do you want to go today? And by Dr. Pepper and your local Dr. Pepper bottler. Dr. Pepper is just what the doctor ordered.
We welcome you back to the Pacific Northwest as you look at Dennis Rodman, who a moment ago was hit with a technical foul for what is termed unsportsmanlike conduct.
Well, I should say Dennis Rodman giving the two-hand disgusted wave towards referee Steve Javy. And that is automatic. We saw it in game 1 with Joe Crawford. As soon as you put those two hands up and wave in that fashion, you don't even have to say anything. That's an automatic technical.
And Dennis is trying to explain to Coach Phil Jackson, I didn't do anything, Coach. Absolutely nothing. There's no way you can show up the referees. Dennis clearly at fault there.
Percy Hawkins converting on the technical. Once again, Dennis Rodman called for an early technical foul. Back in game 1, that led to the Frank Burkowski-Dennis Rodman controversy.
And Burkowski has not been a factor since. George Karl refused to give him a chance to play. And Burkowski can be a positive contributor for this Sonic team.
Well, the Bulls have led by as many as 22. Payton with the back-in move on Randy Brown, who just came on following the timeout. Brown extending the knee and is called for the foul. So a 9-0 run by the Sonics.
A good move by Phil Jackson, though, to get Brown in there to watch Payton for a while. I think he sensed that Michael Jordan was trying to do too many different things once Michael will settle down a little bit.
Here's the double on Kemp. Jumping to pass. And Askew, as a result, lost it. A host of turnovers in this first half by Seattle. The Bulls have missed their last 5 field goal attempts. Pippen getting the good position. Shot clock at 6. Travel call.
Scottie Pippen was hammered inside. The non-call led to the scramble play in the perimeter and the confusion for the Bulls.
Payton again working on Brown. Payton lost his balance. Payton, oh, what a sequence for Gary Payton.
Well, Gary Payton operates so well when he gets the ball down low on the left side. That's one of the things that Ron Harper has kept him from doing it. Brown puts good pressure on, but he shouldn't let him get that deep.
But look at the size differential that Randy Brown gives up.
Weddington going glass. And now Steve Gavi with a call. Maybe a double foul here. Yes, it is. A double. It's on Kemp. And Rodman.
And Rodman getting a break there, and Sean Kemp can't believe anything was called against him. He was just boxing out, a push and a shove from Dennis Rodman, and very quickly, Michael Jordan got right into the face of Dennis Rodman and told him, cool it right now. You've already got the one technical, and this was very close here. On the weak side, Rodman and Kemp battling for position. And you see there, Rodman clearly the instigator. Kemp just trying to hold his arm up and box out Rodman.
And now Sean Kemp has 2 fouls when he was not involved in that play at all, and he has to go to the bench.
Rodman also sits down after collecting his second. Shrimp for Askew. And it's a charge. Offensive foul. Vincent Askew trying to make things happen. His offense off, although he's not noted as an offensive player, but with the injury suffered by Nate McMillan, they're looking for a bit more from Askew.
Marv, Askew is pump faking that 3-point shot. He hadn't even taken one. That pump fake doesn't work. Make another swing pass rather than try to create off an ineffective pump fake as Kukoc is in the lineup.
Turnovers a problem for Seattle all season long. Yes, they force them, but they kick it away too many times. 9 turnovers already in this first half.
Shot clock at 5. Brown for 3. Randy Brown, who does not think shot first, able to hit from 3-point land.
So much of that is coaching. Bringing the guys off the bench like Kerr and Bushler. They make so much of the Chicago bench, but really, these are all guys who nobody really wanted. Much the way Orlando has a bench that nobody wanted, but Chicago, through Phil Jackson, they just have such great ball movement. Everybody willing to give it up because they know, because of Jordan's leadership, he'll give it right back.
Randy Brown on that last foul. How about Brown during the regular season? 1 for 11. From downtown and just hit the 3 here in the NBA Finals. 16-point Chicago lead. Shot clock down to 5. Perkins on the rebound. And the officials check with each other. The ruling last touch by Brown of the Bulls.
Phil Jackson up the sideline arguing for a double dribble on Sam Perkins, but it was not an intentional dribble, the first bobble of the ball. George Karl wants a timeout.
7:09 remaining in this first half. The Bulls 39, the Sonics 23.
The new Plymouth Breeze. Please, keep all hands and arms inside the vehicle until the ride comes to a complete stop.
Hey, you're a guy, and guys want to stay cool. How do you do it? With new Speed Stick Gel, proven to keep you drier than any other gel. It's the best gel protection. New Speed Stick Gel, just for the guys.
On June 28th, he's coming. And he's bigger than ever. Eddie Murphy is...
Your lip is swollen.
The Nutty Professor.
That is very nasty.
Rated PG-13. Starts Friday, June 28th.
Life is a sport. Drink it up.
After enjoying all the spectacular action of the NBA Finals, you'll know who reigns as NBA champs. Now go behind the scenes to find out where, when, and how they did it.
Like all attending defense.
All this with the official 1996 NBA Finals video. Nothing gets you closer to the NBA Finals. Order yours now. Call toll-free 1-888-8-GET-NBA.
This fall, a door will be open to a whole new world. Dark Skies. The Storm is coming this fall on NBC.
This is not a good stat line for the Sonics. This includes tonight in the first half. They have picked up 41 assists, a low number, and they've turned it over 43 times.
Well, it all speaks to their execution on offense. Not enough ball movement, not good passing, and consequently, you're not going to shoot the ball very well. But the Sonics have had problems with turning the ball over all season long. That man, Sean Kemp, averaging 4 turnovers a game throughout the season.
He's got 3 tonight, as does Askew. Kemp averaging over 30 points a game in this series. He's got 2 points this afternoon.
Seattle had only 10 assists in the game on Friday night. Payton able to chase it down. Shrep eluding Bushler, who just came on. That left Shrep with his 3rd field goal. He has 6 points. And the Bulls now lead 39-25. Chicago is led by as many as 22. They came storming out to quiet this crowd. The crowd getting back into it with the good play by the Sonics, who were able to run off 9 straight points. Kukoc will go to the line as he was hit.
This is just another example of what I would call careless defense. Yes, it's the way Seattle plays, but let's watch Detlef Schrempf first. Having to shake off the challenge shot there. Got a good look at the basket, as Detlef Schrempf is going to have to do a lot more of that. But at the other end, ball goes inside to Luc Longley, and Gary Payton just gambles and comes over and double teams, and then leaves his other defenders out of sorts underneath the basket. You just can't do that.
Matt, Chicago is the best offensive team in basketball this year by the numbers, but they stick with their patterns. You always sense, well, we know this is coming because they're going to post up a guy, they're going to flash off. Seattle, it's too much of a scramble.
Off the pressure defense, a foul on Bushler. Bulls over the foul limit. 6.5 minutes remaining in this first half. You see Frank Burkowski getting set to check in. Dennis Rodman has been sitting it out, as has Sean Kemp after they picked up the double foul. Kemp is now back on the floor. Sean Kemp very quiet in this first half. 1 of 3 from the field. So Burkowski checks in, and here's his good friend Dennis Rodman getting set to return.
Well, the courage of Phil Jackson right now, with Dennis Rodman already 1 technical, a couple of personal fouls. A volatile situation could develop, but I think Phil trying to show Dennis that he trusts him.
Bulls 41 and the Sonics 27.
Coaches have to show trust in their players. That's why Phil Jackson is the coach of the year and the best coach in the NBA today.
Phil, are you on the take here? Not that I would disagree with that, but you were pushing Phil right.
Look what he does with this team. I mean, Luc Longley, nobody wanted him. Steve Kerr, nobody wanted here. Randy Brown, Bushler. He's taken all these guys. They learn from Jordan. They learn from Pippen. And they get an unbelievable team here that thinks basketball as a unit.
Oh, I'm not disputing it, but I think this is about the 5th time it's been mentioned.
And I wouldn't say that nobody wanted the players that you mentioned. It's just that they found their niche with this particular ball club.
Luc Longley with a nice move as Rodman and Burkowski became entangled. Luc Longley with a terrific start. 5 of 8 from the field. 10 points. Bulls lead by 16. Shrep for 3. And Rodman with the rebound. So the Sonics 0 for the last 15 from 3-point range. Jordan got caught. Oh, Michael Jordan with a couple of miscues here in the first half. Oh, nice pass from Payton. Detlef Schrempf with 10. And Chicago's lead is now 14.
More and more plays like that will get Seattle right back into this game and into this series.
Yes. Steve Kerr with his first field goal coming into today. 1 of 11 from the field the first 2 games of this series. And coming off a superb shooting performance against Orlando. Detlef Schrempf, a different player here in the first half.
There's manhandling Judd Bushler right now in the low post, but Detlef Schrempf can do that to various sizes and shapes of players.
Timeout taken by the Bulls. 4:45 remaining in the first half. The Bulls by 14.
Plymouth Neon Coupe with a zippy 2-liter 16-valve engine. Ride-tuned suspension, a 5-speed tranny, and 132 wild ponies. It's a pretty hot little number. Plymouth Neon Coupe, just $92.95.
Pennzoil technology leads the way again. Pennzoil 97, first to fully achieve 1997's tougher GF2 motor oil performance standard that requires higher fuel efficiency, reduced volatility burn-off, full-time protection against high-rev foaming. Don't wait. Get tougher GF2 motor oil performance for your car today. Get Pennzoil 97 and get it now. Pennzoil, a broadcast sponsor of NBC's coverage of the 1996 Olympic Summer Games.
Hello from Plank Road, where our man Paul is out to prove that it's what's inside that counts. Take this bottle. Someone went to a lot of trouble to get this ship into it. But what are you going to do with it? Then take this bottle, Ice House. The folks at Plank Road also went to a lot of trouble, but look at all you get. An ice-brewed beer with no watered-down taste, so it goes down smooth and easy. So, if it's what's inside that counts, you can always count on Ice House. Thanks, and enjoy.
Some players like clay.
Some like grass.
Both have their problems.
Clay can be slippery.
Grass is unpredictable.
Clay slows your serve down.
Grass is unpredictable.
Like Wimbledon, unpredictable.
That's been predictable.
I'm working on that.
As we return to Key Arena in Seattle, here's what's coming up on the Prudential Halftime Report. We'll bring you more of Jim Gray's interview with Dennis Rodman, one of the best rebounders in history. He won his 5th consecutive rebounding title this season. We'll also get the thoughts of Julius Erving and Peter Vesey on the first half of the Bulls and Sonics. Chicago has been great so far, building a 14-point lead. Let's go back courtside to rejoin Marv Albert, Matt Gukas, and Bill Walton. Marv.
Thank you, Bob. And the Bulls have been able to do it despite the fact that Michael Jordan only 4 of 12 from the field, and he has missed his last 4. He's also turned it over uncharacteristically on 2 occasions. They double up on Jordan. Kukoc. And back comes Payton. And Schrempf took his eye off the pass, looking for the shot.
Mark, Gary Payton has a careless habit of giving up that ball in transition on the flow in the mid-court area. I think that's a bad mistake.
Pippen is blocked, and then Schrempf. Gronkowski, but with the strip, but threw it away. Now single coverage with Hawkins on Jordan, who goes right at him, and is fouled.
And you mentioned Jordan's performance, Marv, but it was his start that set the tempo, that got him out to that 20-point lead, and they've just been sort of hanging on right now, just sort of trying to keep the status quo, maybe get to halftime with a good solid lead, and then come out in the third and just really hammer down again. That seems to be Michael Jordan and the Bulls' approach today.
Well, Michael had his free throw shooting problems in game 2, just 10 for 16. And he is well aware that every time that he drives to the basket, there is going to be some kind of a hard foul. Talking to him before the game, I asked if it was borderline if some of these may be flagrant fouls. He said no. He said they are clean, hard fouls, and we expect them. We got to be ready to take them.
You saw John Sally check in. So Sally with Longley and Kukoc up front, Pippen and Jordan in the backcourt. 16-point Chicago lead. Sean Kemp, who has been quiet, facing the double team. Here is Schrempf. Brykowski. And knocked out of bounds. And a foul call on Brykowski. As Brykowski commits his second personal.
A wild offensive sequence for Seattle where they're really just throwing it up there. They need to get better shots. You drive in there, you draw the defense, and then you kick out to somebody who's standing at the foul line or the three-point line. Brykowski unable to get it going.
And Brykowski sitting down. Jordan now with 15 points. The Bulls 48. And the Sonics 31 in this game 3 of the best-of-7 NBA Final Series. Game 4 here in Seattle Wednesday night. 9 o'clock start Eastern Time, 6 out on the West Coast. 3.5 remaining in the first half. Sally on Perkins. Kemp around Longley. And fouled by Longley.
Well, Sean Kemp is so confident when he goes in a one-on-one situation against Luc Longley, whether it's close to the basket, whether it's on the perimeter. He knows he can put the ball on the deck and get in there and create some contact from Luc Longley. And that was just a careless foul by Luc as he reached in.
Sean Kemp with just one field goal, 1 of 3 at the line. Kemp has been the offense for the Sonics' first 2 games, 29 points. And in game 2, he had 32 points in game 1. Longley sitting down after picking up his second foul, leads with 10 points. So the Bulls with a 49-33 lead.
Marv Rodman's been in and out of the lineup so much tonight, almost like on a yo-yo there. Impossible for him to get a rhythm for the ball on the boards.
Kukoc able to save it. Pippen resets. Shot clock down to 4. And it will be Seattle back in possession.
Now, if you're George Karl, you're just hoping in these last 3 minutes that you can close this gap, get us around 10 or 12, so you have something positive to talk about during halftime.
Back comes Kukoc. Again, it's Payton on Jordan. Sally, played by Kemp. Jordan, yes, nicely done on the setup from Kukoc.
Marv, they just keep moving all the time. When one guy has the ball, they're not standing watching.
And there's nothing passive about Tony Kukoc here in the first half. Sean Kemp, 6 points now for Kemp. The Bulls 51, the Sonics 35.
Marv, Tony's one of those guys who responds to the challenge. A very competitive guy, even though a quiet personality. Harper out. He knows it's his day.
And Michael Jordan picking it up. He has 20 points. The Bulls by 18.
Well, Tony knows he's playing with a lot of fellas out there who have a lot of championship rings, and he's got a few European championships of his own. So that's a good lineup.
Offensive foul. That's 3 on Kemp.
Sean Kemp working for low post position, just nails John Sally with an elbow in the head. The referee's right on top of it. Digging in deep there, Sean Kemp leans right in. And that initial elbow from the left side, right to John Sally, who does know how to respond once that whistle blows.
And Kemp sits down. David Wingate comes on for the first time. Jordan being guarded by Wingate. Shoots over him. Yes. Oh, Michael is on fire now. 23 for Jordan. Three-pointer for Michael Jordan. And it is now a 21-point lead for the Bulls. They have led by as many as 22. Foul was called on Sally.
It wasn't too long ago we were saying Michael Jordan, maybe he's trying to do a little too much. Well, hey, he's doing it. Inside, outside, everywhere. As he is really feeling it right now like nobody can cover him.
When we were talking to him before the game today, you could just feel that intensity just coming out, oozing out, if you will. This is a very special person.
But of most significance, Michael telling us that he would like to play golf tomorrow, and the only way he could do it under his terms would be if the Bulls win today and Phil Jackson gives the club the day off from practice. And we said that might be your greatest motivation, and he did not disagree.
Well, even if they don't have any time off from practice, the sun stays up so long in this town. 9:15 last night. It was still shining.
Matt looking out the window with the watch in his hand.
I wrote it in my diary.
That must live in the southern hemisphere.
Bulls with a 56-37 lead. Jordan. Yes. Michael Jordan with 25. He is now 8 for 16. And the Bulls lead 58-37.
Marv, it all comes down to style for the Bulls right now. Everything coming off, passing. The few occasions it does break down a little bit, Jordan always there to bail him out.
Foul is called. Sally took down Perkins. Michael Jordan has hit his last 4 shots. 25 points in this first half.
I was saying how the Sonics would like to go into halftime, maybe down 10 or 12. Well, it's gone the other way, now to 21. And with all the ideas to double-team Michael Jordan, probably the best time would have been to do it these last couple of minutes. Now, yes, he's out on the perimeter, and you don't want to run crazy double-teaming, but when he is this hot, you must run at him and get the ball out of his hands.
Sam Perkins, 4 for 4 at the line.
But I don't think the problem has been so much on the defensive end for Seattle. I mean, nobody's really going to stop Michael Jordan. The problem is offense. They got 37 points playing at home. They come out in the opening quarter, stink it up. They get 16 points.
And Jordan is headed back to the line, fouled by Wingate. Well, Bill, the Sonics are now 14 of 32, shooting 43%. The Bulls are at 51% shooting, 22 out of 43.
All the talk has been about the big start, the home crowd. They come on flat, Bulls playing perfect, and now the crowd is sitting on their hands here in a half-hearted attempt to distract Michael with some deflated balloons behind the basket.
Yeah, that really bothersome.
A 20-second timeout is called by
Those 12 turnovers by Seattle, many of them forced by the Chicago Bulls defense, something they do very, very well. Some of those turnovers of the careless variety.
We are down to 50 seconds remaining in this first half, and the Bulls now lead 59-38 as they look to make it 3-0 in this best of 7. The Sonics will need a dramatic turnaround in the second half. Michael Jordan with 26 points. He has hit on 8 of 16 from the field. He has converted his last 4 shots. Incidentally, the record for the NBA Finals, most points in a finals half, 35, which is held by, yes, Michael Jordan. Game 1 against Portland in 92. Another look at the move by Jordan a moment ago that led to the foul called on Wingate.
Well, David Wingate and Michael have had their confrontation so far in the 2.5 games of this series. That was just a fly pattern after the made free throw, but David Wingate maybe has some long fingernails there as he got the neck and chin of Michael, the side of the arm. Michael was checking all over the place to see where he was cut on this play. Michael would have been a pretty darn good wide receiver.
It's the Bulls 60, the Sonics 38.
Matt, don't encourage him. The last guy that did that, he went and played baseball for a while.
Perkins. Met by Sally. The lead pass for Schrempf waved off for an illegal defense call.
Judge Bushler was on the weak side, trying to help out as that double team came about. He was just in no man's land, trying to zone up and protect, and got caught.
That was the first illegal defense against Chicago. Seattle was hit with one earlier. Now a half minute left in this opening half. Hayden wanted to use the pick, but Perkins was moving with him. Here's Wingate. Rebounded by Pippen. And the Bulls will hold for a final shot of this first half as we come up on 10 seconds to go. Here's Pippen. Yes, and it counts. Well, a symbolic finisher to a first half that has been just splendid for the Chicago Bulls.
It has been a clinic for Chicago. Every aspect. Jordan, Pippen, the big guys are playing their game. Dennis Rodman celebrating. And one, he said.
And refereeing.
Yes.
Something different.
Well, they did miss a free throw.
Final seconds of the half. Biggest lead of the night. Enjoyed by Chicago. Bushler with the steal. A 24-point lead for the Bulls, who are seeking to go 3 up in this best of 7. Michael Jordan leading the way. 27 points, 15 in the second quarter. We'll be back in a moment with Bob Costas and the Prudential halftime report.
Introducing the new Plymouth Grand Voyager. It's filled with clever ideas. Now there's a sliding door on this side and this side. 27% more room for you and all your stuff. And seats that roll out of the way. A gazillion cup holders that hold almost anything. Plus more safety and greater visibility. You can carry more and do more. The new Plymouth Grand Voyager. It simply slides, folds, protects, unfolds, rolls, and drives better.
Some people quit when they reach their threshold of pain. Some don't.
Lead car. Take it slow. Everybody okay? Wait a minute, what's he doing? He wants more. Right there. Over there.
Diet Dr. Pepper, the taste you've been looking for.
Tonight, must-see TV basketball fever. Check out Mad About You's Breakfast of Champions.
Eggs, toast, home fries, and steak.
Steak for breakfast. Have you read a paper in the last 20 years? Well, then, how about something healthy and nutritious instead?
Don't drink out of the milk carton. Bye.
Third Rock following Mad About You, NBC tonight after the game.
This is the Prudential Halftime Report, brought to you by Prudential. Live well, make a flag, be your own rock.
Halftime of Game 3 at Key Arena with the Bulls leading the Sonics 62-38. Chicago led by 22 late in the first quarter. Seattle rallied, cut it in half, got to within 11, but now at the half they're down by 24. And Michael Jordan, who scored 28 in Game 1 and 29 in Game 2, already has 27 in this first half. Bob Costas back along with Dr. J and Peter Bessie, and we'll talk about the first half in our next segment. But first, to Dennis Rodman once again. He had a quiet first half on the backboards, grabbing 5 rebounds. and he scored just 2 points. He also picked up a technical foul in the second quarter for unsportsmanlike conduct, but he was the key figure in Game 2 with 20 rebounds. And after that game, he spoke with Jim Gray.
Aside from all of the tattoos and the earrings and so forth, are you a basketball purist? Do you care a lot about the game?
I care a lot about the game, you know. I get a lot of people saying, well, Dennis is making a mockery out of the NBA. It's not all about making a mockery out of the NBA. It's all about being an individual that's playing in this game. You know, I don't need to make a mockery because this business is too big for one individual to try to bring it down.
What made you decide to show all of this individualism? You were a very successful player in Detroit, yet you didn't seem to get much of the limelight or the credit. Was the rest of this simply designed as a marketing aspect, and do you view this almost like all-star wrestling?
You know, this is not marketing. You don't market stuff like this. People in society don't like what I have, but the only reason why they liked it is because of who I am. I'm a basketball player.
Can you explain the phenomenon that you have become, people stopping on the freeway with the billboard of your hair, kids emulating you, changing the color of their hair? Can you explain why you have become so popular?
I think that people see it as an entertainment. They see someone out there and say, wow, that's the guy with the red hair. That's the guy with the multicolored hair. The chameleon. That's going to be my new name, the chameleon.
Not the word.
Not the one, the chameleon. And kids relate to that. It's fun. It's not dangerous to anybody. And kids can go home, they can play in their little watercolors and things like that. And it's all about having a good time, and the kids can feed off of it.
But aren't you concerned that it could send the wrong message to some
It's not sending the wrong message because that's what family's all about. You know, they could deliver the message. Well, that guy that has funny hair, but he's a good guy. He's a good guy, and they see me on TV. They see that I love my daughter. That's the most important thing to me, and that's the bottom line. It's all about trying to make kids out to be something that they're not.
Would you want kids to emulate you?
I just want them to enjoy me, to feel the emotion, to feel the excitement, the thrill, and the agony, what I go through in a game. And I think they feel that because I reach out to the people. I like to have all the DNAs, all the 22,544 people that come in this building, DNA inside me. And then when I'm out there performing, I want them to feel it. I want them to feel the bumps and bruises. I want them to get the rebound. I want to feel everything.
Are you content? Are you happy with yourself and what you've become?
I'm happy in a sense where I know I can control everything around me now. I know that I can provide entertainment for myself instead of worry about people coming to entertain Dennis Rodman. I know the value of life, the value of people and things that's going to happen before and after. So I think that's really getting Dennis Rodman over today.
Does basketball matter to you? Being a good basketball player and having respect?
It's not been, I don't give a damn if I'm the best basketball player in the world. I just want to fit in and be one of the 12 players on the floor. That's all. Just one of 12.
There were some people who will hear this who think that's disingenuous, that that's not honest.
Well, if they think they don't give a damn about basketball, why am I playing? Why am I out there doing my job? Why am I out there winning basketball games? Why am I being so productive? Why am I out there busting my ass every night to do something that no one wants to do? If I didn't give a damn about basketball, I'd just go out there and just be just like any other average basketball player. But I'm being productive. At 35 years old, I play like I'm 20 years old, and I'm having a great time.
Rodman flopped it into a flagrant foul. And to have Dennis Rodman, who cheats all over the court all the time.
George Karl, after Game 1, had some very derogatory comments about you and your game, and in essence said you don't deserve any respect. What is your response to that?
It's unfortunate that it has to be that way. You know, he asked me a question that he asked me a couple years ago, do you want to play for Seattle? I said, great, yeah, it'd be awesome. You know, but, you know, I think now it's all about head games. And I play that better than anybody in this business. And I can get over because I know that I'm a lot more mentally strong, physically strong, and go out there and do what I have to do.
Well, the Bulls in general are doing what they have to do. We go to Peter Vesey. Your take on Rodman.
Well, we all know that you win championships in the NBA with strong defense, rebounding, psychological warfare. We know Game 1 turned around when Frank Burkowski got thrown out after getting into an altercation with Rodman. Rodman dominated Game 2. And we know that in the history of this game, the only guys that have been able to dominate a game or a series
without scoring a point are Magic Johnson, Bill Russell, and Dennis Rodman. I'm not saying Rodman's confident or overconfident, but he's already measured his navel for a ring.
Well, let's leave. Very nice. Let's leave the off-court persona aside for a moment, which is probably just as well. You admire the way he does it on his own terms on the court.
Absolutely, Bob. You know, I think Dennis is very clever with the amount of moxie that he has in his game. He psychologically and physically neutralizes his opponents. I think he's been able to silence his critics, his detractors, and all of the skeptics. And when you add the fact that he has so much athleticism and talent, you know, this guy is just a complete package that night in and night out on the court, you have to have respect for him.
Okay, when we come back, we'll talk about the first half of the Bulls and Sonics. Try to think of enough superlatives. Chicago up by 24, but first a message from Prudential and a word from the NBA.
This is our secret. I believe that every woman who wants to live a full life has to be independent. You cannot depend on other people to make your life click. If you're independent, you go when you need to go, you do what you need to do, you do what makes you happy. Go, girl.
Please kiss me, croaked the frog. And then the princess kissed the frog, and he suddenly turned into Charles Barkley.
Daddy!
Okay. You caught me. The frog turned into a handsome prince. I love reading with my kids. We all enjoy it. Reading builds a solid foundation for their future. Okay, who wants to read the next one?
Daddy, Charles must have been a really big frog.
The Bulls lead the Sonics at the half in Game 3, 62-38. Pick a highlight. It was all red and black in the first half, and this is really what Seattle had to fear. They had a chance to win at least one in Chicago because the Bulls did not play anywhere near their full capability in the first two games, and still they escaped with a couple of victories. They come out completely in sync tonight.
Well, the Bulls definitely came out in sync. Michael Jordan is leading the charge, and this is just a great Bulls team. If you look at the Sonics, they have been a team during the regular season and early in the playoffs who has been able to overcome huge deficits. But I don't think this is quite the same Sonics team that started out that 7-game series against the Jazz. I think the Jazz took a lot out of them, but that doesn't discount Chicago's greatness. They truly are right up there with the best of all time.
Well, in fact, for whatever it's worth, among the 11 defeats this year for the Bulls, including one in the playoffs, the biggest lead they relinquished in any of those games was 16 points here against Seattle back in November. But this is a whole different situation.
No, you definitely. I think the fat scalper here in Seattle is already singing discount for Game 4. With all due respect to Michael and the Jordanaires, I believe that Phil Jackson and his coaching staff deserve the MVP for this series. For every series, they've been able to designate which player is not going to beat them and which player is going to take the open shot. Every opponent has had to adjust to them, and I don't know why that happens. They're doing a hell of a job.
Well, Chicago at home simply won games. Tonight, they're making their statement. Now a couple of coaching notes. Johnny Davis, who was an assistant coach in Portland this past year, will be named the new head coach in Philadelphia tomorrow. And Peter Vesey tells us that Milwaukee has narrowed its coaching search to former Celtics coach Chris Ford or former Raptors coach Brendan Malone. And one other note, immediately following tonight's Game 3 on CNBC, we'll bring you a half-hour post-game special. Our entire crew will be here with interviews and analysis on CNBC right after this game. Halftime in Seattle. The Bulls lead the Sonics by 24. Back to Marv, Matt, and Bill after these messages from your local station.
This has been the Prudential Halftime Report, brought to you by Prudential. Live well, make a plan, be your own rock.
This is no. Meet the bro. You see anything weird, you take a picture of it.
If it's must-see, it's NBC.
By the looks of it, it could be a whole new car company. It's one of the most successful car companies anywhere. It has the most innovative minivans in the world, the friendliest cars on the planet, and some of the most fun that ever prowled the streets. Plymouth. It's not just a new line of cars, but a whole new line of thinking. From Plymouth Place, our mobile information centers and showroom, to an internet showroom in your own home. Plymouth is one clever idea after another. After another, after another.
The new 3-cheese melt from Taco Bell has tons of real mozzarella, cheddar, and pepper jack cheese, melted, all for just 99 cents. To say anything else is cheesier would be a stretch.
What do you do when the party's over?
Make your last stop Taco Bell. We're cooking till 2 a.m.
There's nothing ordinary about it, Taco Bell.
Your Ford dealer presents Trucks 101, a brief lesson on America's best-selling trucks, including Ford's lineup of minivans, like Ford Aerostar. Right now, during Ford Truck Month, you can get $1,000 cash back or low 4.8% financing on every Aerostar in stock. Same goes for every Ford Windstar. Remember, Windstar was recently awarded 5 stars, the government's highest grade in front crash tests. So take a field trip now to your Ford dealer.
We have a new Lotto millionaire in Virginia. Find out who it is coming up tonight.
Alex Popov is the fastest sprinter in the world. He's called the Russian Rocket. In '92, he won gold medals in swimming's showcase events. His mission is simple: repeat his victories and rewrite history. Alex's dreams will take him to the Olympics on NBC.
Back in Seattle, the Bulls with a 24-point lead over the Seattle Sonics. Let's check in with Hannah Storm, who is with Sonic coach George Karl. Hannah?
George, what do you think happened to your team in the first half, and what do you tell them here at halftime?
I think right now we just got to play and get back to trying to play with some confidence. You know, we broke apart. We got hit with a great defensive effort early, and then Michael Jordan's great performance. I mean, they played a great half on us, but we got to play back and just compete and get back to getting some confidence in the game.
Are they confident right now, or are they destroyed? I mean, do you think they have enough left to get back in this game?
Well, this team's always fought all year and has a lot of pride. I think you're going to see us fight.
Okay, good luck in the second half, Coach. Mark?
All right, thank you, Hannah. Matt, if you're in the Chicago locker room, where I know you would prefer to be at this point, what does Phil Jackson tell his club?
Well, he's going to be serious with his team. He's going to say, we can't relax. We can't be complacent. We got this lead because we respected this Seattle ball club. We executed well. We defended well.
All right, Bill, what can Seattle do here in the second half?
Oh, gee, thanks a lot, Mark, for that opportunity. They have to play for pride right now and try to keep together all the good things that Seattle has done this year. It's been a great year, but not a good first half at all. They're in a lot of trouble.
All right, a look at the Miller Lite halftime statistics, and you can see why Seattle is in trouble. Chicago, 23 of 44, 52% from the field. Seattle at 14 of 33, and Michael Jordan with 27 on 8 of 16 shooting. 3-point field goal, Chicago 5 of 8. Seattle in the midst of a drought right throughout this series from 3-point territory. 0 for 8 tonight, and Peyton just 8 points in the first half. We'll be back in Seattle in a moment.
In the past 2 years, the Oldsmobile Aurora has earned quite a reputation for itself. As a force to be reckoned with in the luxury performance market, and as a remarkably good investment. But perhaps one of its greatest accomplishments is its incredibly attractive lease payment. For a limited time, lease an Aurora for just $399 a month and $2,600 down.
10 minutes and we're out of here.
Hi, Ralph. It's that pipe again. Will it take long?
Nah, only... Oh, DirecTV. A couple hours.
Well, walk up when you leave.
Sure.
DirecTV. Over 175 channels, digital picture and sound. It's satellite TV at its best.
Wow, does this blow cable away?
Comfy?
For the choice of movies, cable, and sports packages you can't get anywhere else, it's got to be DirecTV.
Grant Hill has special Brazilian rubber on his shoes, which makes him jump 12 feet high.
His head is aerodynamically shaped, you know. Now he's so fast, he can pass the ball to himself. I heard every time Grant Hill drinks Sprite, he's not thirsty anymore.
To earn this uniform, it takes years of practice. Or play the Under the Cap game with 1 in 6 chances of instantly winning free Sprite and Sprite Dream Team stuff.
If I could
Basketball didn't always come easy for Scottie Pippen. The youngest of 12, he was not even recruited out of high school, and his college career began as the equipment manager. Now this 1,000,000-to-1 shot is one of the NBA's greatest players. His dream will take him back to the Olympics on NBC.
We are back at the Key Arena, which has been kept relatively quiet in this first half by this commanding Chicago lead. Let's check in with Ahmad Rashad. Ahmad?
All right, thanks, Mark. Excuse me, Dick. I'm trying to do a reporting. Phil Jackson, unlike in Game 2, didn't have much to say to his team at halftime, but he did say that the second half will mean nothing if they can't pick up where they left off in the first half. Also, to be wary of Seattle coming out and pressing. Mark?
Oh, that official Dick Pavetta is such a wacky guy, isn't he? He'll do anything for on-camera time.
Seattle starting Frank Brakowski in the second half, not going with Irvin Johnson, who's been the starter. Maybe Frank Brakowski can give him something from a perimeter as the Sonics really struggle from downtown.
Longley comes out, followed by Brakowski. Shot clock is down to 2. Here is Longley. Luc Longley with 12 points, and the Bulls now lead 64-38.
Marv, remember what Michael was telling us before the game about how he was lecturing Luke about when you get popped in the eye like that, take those 5 stitches. You got to come out and show them that you're not going to allow that to happen anymore.
Longley's done it with his game today. Took an inadvertent elbow from Sean Kemp. And actually wanted to leave, and Phil Jackson was saying, no, you play through it. You stay on the floor. But, of course, with the blood dripping down, he was forced to leave. And Jordan was upset because he felt that Longley was just too low-key about taking that shot. And that is another Seattle turnover. It is turnover number 13.
And Michael Jordan slipped and fell into one of our cameramen on that last play and just went over to make sure that he was all right as Michael went hard to the floor.
That was a terrible pass by Gary Payton. Well behind Frank Brakowski on the dead run.
Kukoc from 3. Longley tried to punch it on the back tap, but carried out of bounds.
Well, Michael Jordan with that, what has now become the patented get up in the air fadeaway shot, just kept fading all the way back and all over our NBC cameraman.
Crowd trying to urge on the Sonics. Kemp fouled by Longley. That's 3 on Luc Longley. No team in the history of the NBA Finals has ever come back from more than 21 down at the half to win. The Sonics trailing by 24 at halftime. That's the biggest comeback victory in the history of the finals. Baltimore beat Philadelphia back in April of 1948, coming back from a 21-point deficit. Bulls now lead 64-40.
Sorry, I don't have anything more to give you on that Baltimore-Philly game in 48, Marv.
Well, I know Matt can fill us in on that one.
Freddie Scolari in the backcourt for the Baltimore Bullets. I knew that.
Did you coach him, too?
Very good.
Good defense by the Sonics. Pippen. And it's a 24-second violation of the basketball knockdown. Pippen just tossed it up, looking to hit the rim, and Rodman trying to save it. And now there's a discussion. Rodman is applauding the call. Perhaps they are changing the call. Steve Javie, Hugh Evans, Dick Pavetta talking about whether that should be a 24-second violation. If not, the basket would count. So tough because they have to visualize the replay in their mind.
Of course, not allowed to use television replays.
There is no 24-second violation because the ball hits the ring.
We'll get the ruling. Here's another look at it.
Has the ball. The whistle blows, and inversely,
Yes, it did graze the rim. So the basket does not count, but they'll see how they reset the clock. They'll put some time back up.
Well, they'd have to give him a full 24 because the ball did hit the rim.
And a good ruling by the officials as the shot clock sounded and the whistle blew. Just everybody basically stopped, other than the alert Dennis Rodman.
And there again was Sean Kemp unable to keep Dennis Rodman off the board. Hannah was talking about that's what they did all day yesterday in practice. Interesting how they wait until before game 3 to realize you have to block Dennis Rodman off.
Kowski trying to tie up Longley. Jordan rebounded by Brakowski, and he nearly threw it away. Hawkins eluding Jordan, who picks up the foul. That is his first.
I've always loved it, Marv, when these great players like Jordan and Barkley and Bird and Magic, who are so involved in every play, and finally, midway through the second half, oh, there's their first foul.
Brakowski just leveled Rodman a 3 for Hersey Hawkins. But Dennis made a bit more out of it, though, as he went to the floor. 3 minutes gone by in the third quarter. Bulls by 21. They double up on Jordan and he threw it away.
Well, that's the kind of pressure defense that was so successful for Seattle in the Utah series. Here, Dennis Rodman and Brakowski getting all tangled up. And Dennis, with a flop there, just taking a little bump from Brakowski.
I don't know, a forearm to the throat.
Hawkins is fouled.
Chicago has to be careful because Seattle has come out as the aggressors in this half. That'll get the crowd back into it. And once that crowd gets going, it is impossible to get them back in their seats. Chicago, not really a single good play in the opening 3.5 minutes of the third.
Foul on Pippen. Hersey Hawkins this evening. That is only his 5th point. Here's Steve Kerr replacing Tony Kukoc. Tony Kukoc providing a lift for the Bulls in the first half. Started the game because Ron Harper is bothered by a knee problem. Kukoc with 9 points. So the Bulls now lead 64-45, pressure by the Sonics. And Longley is able to bring it across.
One of the reasons for Kerr is that he is expert against the trapping, pressing defenses that Seattle's going to throw on the rest of this game.
Longley. And Jordan able to keep it alive at 24 for the Bulls. Jordan fouled. Brakowski with the reps on Michael Jordan. Frank Brakowski involved, picking up his 3rd personal.
And Brakowski and Rodman having some extracurricular talk there. Michael Jordan once again quickly getting over to Rodman and pulling him away.
Well, the crowd here in Seattle very much back into it, with the Sonics chipping away but still trailing by 19. Travel called on Longley.
Well, you can also tell from the talk of George Karl in that halftime saying, hey guys, we got to let it all go right here. Frank Brakowski, if you can get somebody involved, do it. Sean Kemp, you have to start getting physically involved in this ball game.
7-0 run by the Sonics. Bulls have led by as many as 26. Tremp. Rebounded by Longley. Crowd wanted a traveling violation on Longley.
Well, that's the kind of offensive play that's typified Seattle all day. Trying to beat a guy, a great defensive player, one-on-one, going to your left with a fadeaway jumper.
And here's a fadeaway jumper by Rodman. It is a 3-second violation call on Sean Kemp.
But this is the kind of Seattle defense that I think everybody in this building, and I know we expected at the start of this game. Very physical, very grabby, clutchy, and just get into the chest and into the face of the Chicago Bulls. The Bulls never let them get into that early in the first quarter.
Yes, the Sonics swarming defensively here in the third. And they've cut into that Bulls lead. Again a whistle, 3-second goal against Chicago.
And the call by Steve Jabby over on the weak side probably could have called something else there as Rodman and Frankowski get all tangled up. And then the 3-second violation.
Carbon monoxide isn't the only thing to worry about coming from your tailpipe, because with every stroke of your engine, motor oil is being vaporized into exhaust, leaving less and less protection. That's why there's Castrol GTX 10W30. Of every leading 10W30, Castrol provides the most protection against volatility burn-off. So use Castrol, or watch more of your protection go up in smoke. Castrol GTX, the most protection against volatility burn-off.
Of all the luxury performance sedans in the world, there is one that has caught America's eye. Aurora by Oldsmobile.
Finding oneself alone in this world can be terrifying.
Poor thing, you must have fallen out. I knew I must return him to his family to ensure he's consumed at optimum freshness.
I don't see him, do you?
Excuse me, he's lost. Lost beer coming through. See him? We'll find him any minute. I can feel it. Excuse me. Don't give up.
Hey, who's missing a bottle? We got a lost bottle here.
Budweiser. Brewery fresh taste. Strictly enforced.
Don't worry, little fella. We'll find him.
The NBA on NBC is brought to you by Bud Light, official sponsor of the 1996 Olympic Summer Games. Make it a Bud Light. By Oldsmobile and your authorized Aurora retailers. And by Reebok. Are you prepared to say, this is my planet?
Well, Seattle's defense has gotten serious here at the start of the third quarter, challenging every pass, every shot, and here's Sean Kemp popping Rodman in the chest, and as they get all tangled up, something could have been called there of a foul nature, but the official wisely called the 3-second violation. We should be happy with that call.
Well, Dennis Rodman has to be very careful. This is where he usually has his problems. When they're way up, the game is not in the balance. And where was this physical response from Seattle early on in this series?
Well, the Bulls have not scored in 4.5 minutes. They've been outscored here in the third, 7-2. Kemp had it excellently knocked away by Payton. Able to recover and hit. The Bulls 64 and the Sonics 47. 6.5 remaining in the third quarter. Bulls in this third quarter turned it over 3 times. Only 1 of 7 from the field. Make it 1 of the last 8.
So difficult for a team with a huge lead to come out with that edge and that sharpness. Very dangerous for Chicago as they're in danger of losing this entire lead.
All right, Pippen with the rebound on the Schrempf miss. Well, the Bulls with a magnificent first half, probably their best of the playoff run. Rodman able to keep it alive, and now lost it. Payton with the steal. Hawkins for 3. They just cannot hit from downtown, and it leads to this. The fast break bucket by Jordan.
And George Karl has been saying, if we don't make threes, we cannot win. What a beautiful play by Steve Kerr to start that 2-on-1 break.
Kemp with the spin move, but had nowhere to go. Frankowski for 3, and he is able to hit. 2 for Brikowski. And the Bulls now lead 66 to 50. So Seattle 2 of 12 from downtown.
That's Brikowski's offensive game. Feed off the penetration, spot up at the line. What a pass, Jordan.
Longley. Tied up by Kemp. Sean Kemp with a brilliant defensive play.
Well, Luc Longley wisely keep moving, find the open area as Jordan is double-teamed, and then Luc Longley trying to do the right thing, take it strong to the basket, but just unable to finish that play off against the bigger, stronger, quicker Seattle defenders.
Pickens was blocked by Brikowski, who is becoming a factor in this third quarter. Foul called on Rodman. That's 3 on Rodman and the Bulls. Now with 4:53 to go in this third quarter, leading by 16. A look at the block by Brikowski.
Way too casual by Pittman, but Brikowski showing the skills that he has. Spot-up shooter, good interior, rugged defender.
Second team foul against Seattle.
Running into Brikowski. Nice ball movement. Kukoc off the mark on a three-point attempt. Here comes Payton. He was looking for help and then was hit by Kerr. For the Bulls, their 5th team foul.
Chicago has done nothing in this third quarter. They've come out and scored a total of 4 points. They're all standing around thinking that it's over. Now Seattle is just surging, roaring. The crowd is behind them. This is when they play their best, when their backs are against the wall, as they certainly are.
Well, Tony Kukoc took that last jump shot deep in the left corner, felt he was hit on the wrist and arm, and then turned to the official begging for the call. If he had alertly followed his own miss, he would have probably got the rebound, and all of his teammates remind him, don't worry about non-calls, keep playing.
The Sonics have outscored the Bulls 14-4 in the first. It's down to a 14-point lead. Kemp knocked it out of bounds. Nice catch by Cindy Crawford in the front row. And there's Cindy getting herself involved in the game. Wearing the Dennis Rodman hat. Timeout has been called with 4:18 remaining in the third. The Bulls only 2 of 13 for the field in this third quarter.
Somewhere beyond the sea, somewhere waiting for me.
Your turn, man.
When you've got the great taste of an ice cold Miller Lite, life is good.
I think she digs you. Really?
No. Beyond the sea, somewhere.
To whom it may concern, I've always loved the summer games, the running, the jumping. It's all good. Even the shot put thing is pretty cool too. Still somehow, I can't help feeling there's something missing. Me. And that's why I think football should be an official event of the summer games. Let's have a meeting and put this together. That's my dream, and this is my planning.
Play the deluxe Monopoly game at McDonald's. Collect and win sports cars, $1 million cash. Even a trip to the World Monopoly Championships in Monte Carlo. Get the grown-up taste of Arch Deluxe and deluxe your lunch. At McDonald's.
Before GMC introduced the new U.S. Olympic Gold Edition Jimmy, it had to excel in several events, like the freestyle, the floor exercise, cycling, and yes, even yachting. Judge one for yourself, the new U.S. Olympic Gold Edition Jimmy by GMC, putting you comfortably in command.
This fall, the answers are right outside your window. Dark skies. A storm is coming this fall on NBC.
Well, the NBA and NBC Sports have teamed up and created the official website for the NBA Finals at finals.com. Game previews, player bios, video highlights, the latest news on the Bulls and the Sonics. Plus, during our NBC broadcast of the Finals, fans around the globe can interact with our very own cybercaster, Steve Snapper Jones. Busy at work, as you can see. He'll be online with commentary and answering fan questions during the course of the game. Check out the official website of the NBA and NBC Sports at finals.com. 4:15 remaining in this third quarter, and the Bulls now appear to be the team that is rattled. They throw it away, giving the Sonics another opportunity. A Chicago Bulls team that has gone 2 of 13 from the field. They've been outscored 14-4 here in the third, which has usually been their quarter. That's the case in games 1 and 2. Perkins trying to dump it off, but Pippen able to step right into that passing lane.
Marvin Mott was telling us in the last timeout that Phil Jackson's telling his team to weather the storm. They'll get tired eventually. The problem with that strategy is that these fans won't let them get tired. Ouch, what a wild and horrible shot.
Here comes Peyton. Hawkins. And he draws the foul. He was blocked. Now on Steve Kerr. So the Bulls have scored only 4 points in this third quarter. It's unbelievable. 3:33 remaining in the quarter. Fewest points in a quarter in the NBA Finals, 11. New York Knicks against the Los Angeles Lakers, April 30th, 1972.
Well, the Bulls just have not done enough with their defense to create some fast break opportunities. And then when they have to walk the ball into the front court and try to run their triangle offense, the pressure defense of Seattle has just totally taken them out of the rhythm.
Hersey Hawkins, 4 for 4 at the line. 8 points for Hawkins. David Whitney with a cameo coming on for Detlef Schrempf. And again, the crowd wild here at Key Arena. Kerr for 3. Bulls 68. The Sonics 54.
Perfect execution of the set offense. Take the ball to one side, double down on the other for Steve Kerr.
Kemp able to get inside. Sean Kemp got off to the slow start. He has now become a factor. He has 12 points.
And Marv, it's a very tough matchup. New coach trying to keep Kemp away from the basket. He can only hope to get it back on the offensive end.
Chain of defense. Shot clock at 7. Pippen. Oh, beautiful move with a head fake on Hersey Hawkins.
And Phil Jackson and the Chicago bench are wondering why Steve Kerr was not credited with a three-point shot.
Apparently they did wave it off. Called it a 2. Here's Wingate for 3. David Wingate from downtown. And the Bulls lead 71-59.
Michael Jordan's trying to get more assertive. He's going to start calling for that ball, waving his teammates away so he can get to the hoop.
Shot clock at 6. Pippen. Here come the Sonics. Just under 2 minutes to go in the third. Now Peyton facing the double team. The steal by Pippen. Kukoc chased by Perkins. The Bulls with a 73-59 lead.
Wow, Steve Kerr in trouble under duress with the post-up of Gary Payton, and his teammates came quickly to his aid and forced the turnover.
Matt, you mentioned the Bulls defense not getting it done. They've upped it. In that low post, Gary Payton, who has tortured all the short guards in the Western Conference, realized he's got Kerr, but the double team just leads to easy fast breaks.
Foul committed by Weddington. And again, Hawkins, one of the NBA's better free throw shooters. At the line, he's 5 for 5 here tonight. 8 points for Hersey, 7 of the 8 in this comebacking third quarter.
Now, when Gary Payton gets in that position with a guy like Steve Kerr, he's got to anticipate double team, and that's where he's got to find his three-point shooters. The only two on the floor right now are Hersey Hawkins and Sam Perkins, but they have to be spotted up and spaced correctly.
A Chicago lead once 24. It's now 12.
I'm surprised Phil Jackson hasn't come back with Dennis Rodman. Maybe he was upset with the fact that Rodman was losing his cool and concentration with the big lead.
And the outside official, Steve Jammy, calling it on Hawkins.
First in the last 2 minutes.
Non-shooting foul for the Bulls, their first team foul the last 2 minutes.
I think Phil just does want to weather this storm now and make sure that he has fresh troops for the final 8 minutes of this ball game.
Kukoc watched by Kemp. Wingate is on Jordan. Travel.
Scottie Pippen is really hesitating when he gets that initial pass. Jordan makes the play. They double team him, and when Scottie gets it, he's got to go right away with it. Don't stop and wait, but then you got to start all over again.
Down to 40 seconds remaining in the third. Hawkins got the step. Wingate. And he's called for travel.
Mark, Seattle's right back in this game. Just down 12. The crowd is on the edge of their seats. You can just hear them, feel them breathing down on your necks here. The offense has really picked up. This is Seattle's Sonic basketball.
But this is as tough and intense a defense as you'll see all season long from two teams on the same floor.
Bill Wennington with a second field goal. It's the Bulls 75, the Sonics 61, 10 seconds to go in the third quarter. Down to 5. Wingate. And that is it for the third quarter. Seattle outscored Chicago 23-13 to get back into it. Trailing by 24 at the half, trailing by as many as 26. It is now a 14-point game. Bill Wennington with the corner jump a moment ago to extend that Chicago lead. Dennis Rodman sitting out a good portion of this third quarter. We'll be back with the fourth after these messages and a word from your local station.
Before GMC introduced the new U.S. Olympic Gold Edition Jimmy, it had to excel in several events, like the freestyle, the floor exercise, cycling, and yes, even yachting. Judge one for yourself. The new U.S. Olympic Gold Edition Jimmy by GMC, putting you comfortably in command.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. As our new spokesman, Michael will deliver the LDDS WorldCom message.
When we shoot commercial. Commercial? But we had something a little different in mind.
Hi, this is Michael Jordan. This is Michael Jordan for LDDS WorldCom Long Distance. Hello. This is for your home or business.
Come on, Mike.
One more minute to play. You know, they have these prepaid calling cards with this good-looking guy on them. This is Michael Jordan.
LDDS WorldCom, telecommunication service that's one-on-one.
Sometimes trouble comes looking for you. 1, 2, 3. And that's when you have to stop. Think. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And find a way to not let it get you. Peace.
The bed looks new, but you won't believe what's inside. Dateline Tuesday.
We'll move you with Ford Taurus, Virginia, with safety. Taurus is rated the safest mid-sized car by the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety. We'll move you with comfort, with even more room than last year's Taurus. And now we'll move you with savings. Thanks to low 2.9% financing, you can save $2,400 over conventional financing. Safety, comfort, and now savings. Help give Taurus a Best Buy rating by Consumers Digest. That's how we'll move you, Virginia.
When you come to Western Auto, you'll find that our guaranteed low prices on starters, alternators, carburetors, plugs, shocks, batteries, brakes, drums, rotors, belts, hoses, engines, air filters, oil filters, U-joints, fuel pumps, and a whole lot more are simply unbeatable. Western Auto. Serious parts, serious savings.
Now at Western Auto, get Gunk Heavy Duty Engine Cleaner for just 39 cents and Slick 50 Fuel System Formula for $8.97 or STP Fuel Injector Cleaner only $1.67. Western Auto. Serious parts, serious savings.
Will the rain and clouds stay with us tomorrow? We'll check it out tonight at 11.
This copyrighted telecast of the National Basketball Association may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcast without the express written consent of the NBA.
Back at Key Arena in Seattle, Marv Albert, Matt Guokas, Bill Walton, Ahmad Rashad, Hannah Storm, Bob Costas. The entire crew on hand, and we have seen this crowd in a frenzy right throughout the third quarter. The Sonics getting back into it. Chicago shooting only 6 of 19 from the field in the third. Michael Jordan, only 2 points in the third quarter, was not part of the offense, but figures to be a different story here in the fourth. Jordan now with 31.
One of those old UCLA plays, Bill, the UCLA cut, and Michael Jordan able to shed David Wingate and get that open jump shot.
And that play was all over the blackboard in Seattle's locker room. That high post shuffle. When Weddington sets that pick, Kukoc will just dump it right down to him. Sam Perkins too late. The guard, I think, has to go ball side on that play with Jordan particularly, so you can front him down low if he does take that post position.
And a foul on Weddington, a non-shooting affair. Payton putting the spin on Kerr. And Kerr on the loose ball. Foul is called on Payton.
Steve Kerr was not a factor in the first 2 games in Chicago. Gary Payton gets called for this foul here on Dennis Rodman. Just holds him, keeps him from coming up the lane, and then says, who, me? I didn't foul him.
And a technical foul has been called. It's on Payton, who apparently had something else to say in the direction of Steve Javie. It's been a very tough series for Gary Payton. In game 2, he shot only 6 of 15. Game 1, played 47 minutes, only 6 of 17 from the field.
And it's hard to understand what he could possibly be complaining about. He clearly grabbed Dennis Rodman. It was a good call.
Bulls by 17. And Kukoc took the hit. Met by the double team of Shrimp and Wingate. Foul on David Wingate.
And Gary Payton continues to glare at the official Steve Javie, who called the technical foul on him. That will not help his cause one little bit.
Jordan with the pull-up. Yes, and it counts. Foul committed by Wingate. And Jordan to the line. So kind of a restful third quarter for Michael Jordan, who is certainly right back to it.
It just appears as if the Bulls and Michael Jordan can do whatever they want, whenever they want. Seattle comes back, plays their best basketball of the series in the third, and right away, Michael Jordan says, hey, just give me the ball and get out of the way. Jumper in your face.
And hey, Frank Bukowski was not a catalyst by any means, but he did give the Sonics a different look. More physical play and seemed to give the team a lift. I'm a little surprised he's not in there right now.
And this call away from the ball. Rodman. A push on Kemp. That's 4 on Dennis Rodman.
Dennis Rodman, who plays very tough low post defense and has that habit of snapping that neck back. Nobody ever hits him in the face when he does that.
That was not a defensive foul on Dennis Rodman. And another one on Dennis Rodman.
And that's 5 on Rodman. Luc Longley walking over to the scorer's table. He will come on for Rodman.
Rodman and Kemp underneath the basket. Hard to see where that foul is on Dennis Rodman. Sean Kemp initiated everything. This points out the problem that Ron Harper not being available today, just not the regular rotations to keep Kukoc in the front court.
But obviously the Bulls have managed despite that.
It helps when you have Michael Jordan on your team in a lot of different respects.
A 20-point Chicago lead. Kukoc for 3. And Perkins with the box out. Shrep had to save that lead thrown by Payton. Here's Payton. Gary Payton with 12 points. He's in 5 of 12 from the field. The Bulls now lead by 18.
You see this lineup for the Chicago occasionally with both Longley and Wennington on the floor, but I'm sure it won't be too long before Scottie Pippen re-enters.
Absolutely, because the Bulls are so much better when they go small. But the way Longley is playing today, I'd go with him and make Seattle match up to him, which they have not done.
Well, Longley now has 14 points. Perkins, making the turn, was taken down by Wennington. Here comes Frank Bukowski getting set to check back in. Timeout is called. 9:37 left in the fourth quarter.
The NBA Finals continue. Game 4 Wednesday night at 9 Eastern on NBC.
Goodyear AquaTread revolutionized wet traction design. Now Goodyear introduces the first tire with a lifetime tread life warranty. The new all-season InfiniTread. Its tread is guaranteed for as long as you own your car. Call 1-800-GOODYEAR.
Right now, get a $40 introductory manufacturer's rebate from Goodyear when you buy 4 InfiniTread radials, Goodyear's longest-wearing passenger tire. That's $40 on 4 Goodyear InfiniTread. But hurry, this Goodyear offer ends soon.
When cars raced at an awesome 5 miles per hour, Mobil Oil was there. When a race car broke 100, Mobil was in it. Mobil was in the winner of the first race across America. And since then, Mobil has been in more Indy 500 winners than any other oil in the history of Indy. So if you think that all oils are alike, think about something. At Mobil, we've been changing oil for over 125 years.
The internet will be the biggest thing since the Industrial Revolution. The internet will be just a chat line for physicists and video game addicts. Someday, your web address will be everything. One day on the internet, the Colonel's secret formula will whiz past the secret formula for Pepsi. What will the internet be? No one knows. But we engineer systems in anticipation of this vast uncertainty. So you can approach it as one huge opportunity. Digital, whatever it takes.
Hello from fabulous Plank Road Field, where the Plank Road 10 has just chalked up another impressive win, and our coach, Paul, is ready to give his victory speech. Now this is watered down, and this isn't. Ice House. It's ice brewed, so there's never any watered down taste, just more of what you want in a beer. So remember, winning isn't everything, but Ice House is. Thanks, and enjoy.
Miller, where great taste runs in the family, brings you Miller Moments.
Tonight's Miller moment took place 11 years ago this evening. The Los Angeles Lakers defeating the Boston Celtics, Game 6 of the finals, to take the 1985 NBA title. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar led the way for the Lakers and was named the series' most valuable player. In recognition of that moment, Miller Brewing Company will donate $1,000 to the Thurgood Marshall Scholarship Fund. And at 38 years of age, Kareem, the oldest player ever to win the MVP award. That was the 8th time the Lakers met the Celtics in the finals, and the first time that they ever beat Boston. 9.5 remaining in the 4th quarter. Game 3 of the NBA Finals. The season very much on the line for the Sonics, who are trailing here by 20 points. The Bulls with a burst at the start to take the energy out of the crowd. Michael Jordan with a sensational first half. The Sonics able to get back into it in the 3rd quarter. But the Bulls have come out strong here in the 4th. And a foul is called against Seattle. The high point man of the game is Michael Jordan. Jordan with 34 points. Sean Kemp just picked up his 4th personal foul, and it will put Luc Longley at the line.
Well, Luc bouncing back very nicely here in Game 3. In Game 2, he had as many stitches as he did points and rebounds combined, 5. But he came out in this 1st quarter and really made a statement offensively, much as he did in Game 1.
That's not a good day when your stitches outnumber your points and rebounds combined. But that play all set up by Tony Kukoc. Sean Kemp has not shown an ability to contain him on the perimeter. Tony in Game 1 and 2 was critical at the decisive moments. That play again, setting it all up with penetration.
And a knee offered up by Longley. The indication from the official Dick Pavetta, that's 4. On Longley, the Bulls are now over the limit. Luke wanted his interpretation.
Mark, that last offensive sequence for Chicago that Luc Longley ended up getting the shot, that shows how far Luc Longley has come. Career playoff high today. Early in the season, Scottie Pippen never would have dumped that ball off to Luc Longley. I mean, he would throw it to him in the beginning of the game, and Luc would drop it out of bounds or commit an offensive foul. Now, though, after a year with Jordan, he's fully developed.
The Bulls 84 and the Sonics 65. Down to 5 on the 24. Pippen for 3 with 2 seconds remaining on the clock.
And Pippen, as soon as he came off the bench with Rodman going out with 5 fouls, Scottie gets a big rebound, a couple of nice passes, and a huge 3.
Scottie Pippen with 12 points. And Scottie has done it once again in a number of departments. 8 rebounds, 8 assists. Although he has not shot well at 5 for 14.
Mark with the Bulls. Oh, Longley off the penetration again. Kemp can't keep him under control. George Karl needs another timeout.
What a game for Luc Longley. 17 points for the product of Australia. 7:55 to go in the 4th quarter. And the Bulls now lead 89-65. That's Pippen from 3-point range with the shot clock running down. We'll be back at the Key Arena in a moment.
You followed 1,000 players here. 1,000 more will follow you. Maybe someone will listen. Maybe someone will hear. We've been working too on a brand new beer from Miller. Brewed a new way from the heart of the hops for big flavor that goes down easy. Brand new Miller beer. Listen to what's inside you. Then you can reach for what's out there.
This summer, make more of yourself.
Doug, your clone.
And get more.
2, like in me, 3.
Hi.
and more.
I'd like you to read 4.
Out of life.
We made a copy of a copy. It's not quite as sharp as the original.
Michael Keaton. Michael Keaton. Michael Keaton. Michael Keaton.
How many of you are there?
And Andy McDowell.
What happened?
Multiplicity.
Nobody has sex with my wife but me.
Rated PG-13. At theaters Friday, July 12th.
I am a grandfather that takes pleasure in doing anything I can for the kids. And they know it, too. I've never been rich and never really wanted to be. I just feel you should live comfortably, but you don't need to be a fool about it. And I try to impart that to my grandchildren. And you got to have a goal and an aim in life in order to get anywhere.
What a year in the NBA. Magic Johnson came back. Jordan really came back. Tennis had a comeback of its own. Monica Seles. She's really making some noise. How about the other comeback at Wimbledon this year? Whose comeback? Mine, Pete.
The NBA on NBC is brought to you by Goodyear, #1 in tires. By Prudential, live well, make a plan, be your own rock. And by New Miller Beer, the brand new beer from Miller with big flavor that goes down easy.
We are coming up on 7 p.m. here in the Pacific Northwest with just under 8 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. A reminder, following our telecast here on NBC, we invite you to tune to CNBC on your cable system for an NBA Finals post-game special. Our entire cast will be on hand to recount the game with highlights. We'll hear from some of the players. You'll see some of the press conferences as we look back at the Game 3 here in Seattle. Brikowski with a second field goal. That's the NBA Finals post-game special immediately following the game on CNBC. The Bulls with an 89-67 lead. Longley. And he was fouled.
Marvin, it's so special to watch this Bull team, which is truly unique in a lot of different ways. But when they pass the ball, when they get rid of the ball, they just keep moving. So many teams stand and watch. So many teams feel that or players, if they don't have the ball, they're not doing anything. These guys are always in motion, moving away, setting screens, coming back to the ball. A thing of beauty to watch.
Well, they are the only team in the league that runs this triangle offense to this degree, and with the spacing involved and with all the cuts and with all the backdoor type of passes, it affords all that kind of movement. Luc Longley must love this Key Arena. He had his career high, right. Even though the Bulls had lost that game early in the year, he had a career high in 21.
How about a career move he's gone for the Minnesota Timberwolves, where he lost 67 games back in 91-92 to the NBA Finals.
I think he likes Michael Jordan, not so much the Key Arena.
Longley called for that tripping foul that put Gary Payton on the floor.
Well, that's a good foul by Longley. Still sporting the bandage from the 5 stitches. The little guard comes in and sets the screen on you. You can't let that happen.
And here's Dennis Rodman back. So Longley with a playoff career high of 19 points. This game being seen worldwide, but you know they're enjoying it in Luc's native land of Australia, a member of the 1988-1992 Australian Olympic teams. Is certainly his finest moment as a professional. And Jordan fouled by Hawkins, and Rodman and Brikowski getting involved.
And Phil Jackson at the other end of the floor taking a very long look and now whistling to his team out there. He does not want Dennis to do anything that is not going to have him ready for a Game 4. You just have your heart in your throat at all times when they get tangled up. And see, Dennis initiates all that by getting his arms tangled up underneath the other player and then makes it appear that in this case Frank Brikowski is doing the holding.
And once again, with the game not in the balance, a 22-point lead. But these are certainly two of the freest spirits in the NBA. We don't need any sort of altercation here that would take away from this beautiful exhibition of basketball today by the Chicago Bulls.
Now, would this be considered taunting?
I was just going to say, why is that not taunting? Just a look and almost baiting Frank Bukowski to do something. Dennis has to settle down, play basketball, go play golf with Michael Jordan tomorrow and get ready for Game 4.
But if you can't stand there at attention and look at somebody with a blank expression on your face, what are you allowed to do?
I think that was a bit more than right. And a foul on Pippen. That is his third. Bulls are over the foul limit. Coming into this NBA Final Series, all the Bulls were saying that, well, the 72 victory season is certainly wonderful. They're able to roar through the playoff, beating Miami and then New York and Orlando. But it wouldn't mean a thing. They felt it wouldn't mean anything until they, as Michael Jordan put it, completed the picture. And they are now playing for a place in NBA history. And they wanted to come up with an effort here tonight, at least in one of these games, that would be clear-cut, because they have felt that they have not played well against the Sonics, and they have certainly come through here this evening.
Marv, they won't admit it because they don't believe in taunting the opposition, but they had to have a meeting between the key guys and said, hey, look, let's go undefeated during these playoffs. They did lose the one to the Knicks in Game 3.
And again, Bukowski and Rodman come together, and the officials very quick to move to that scene. Bukowski with number 4.
Rodman flashing to the ball. No need to overplay or try to deny him. Dennis is not looking to swing that sky hook across the middle. Gary Payton doing a lot of trash talking. Needs a little bit more game to back that talk up. Gary Payton coming in as a brilliant player, over 20 points a game. In the series, he's got 40 points total in the series.
This is the story tonight. Jordan 11, 22, 36 points. And Payton only 5 of 13, 14 points, along with 8 assists. You mentioned the playoff run, Bill. Well, the Bulls on their way to making it a record of 14-1 in the playoffs. Shrimp and Jordan able to box out Kemp.
In traffic, going up with one of the best rebounders in the league, Sean Kemp. As both Jordan and Pippen, with Rodman in and out of this lineup throughout the game, have both gotten much more involved in the rebounding area, as they tend to do when Dennis is not getting a whole bunch.
Shot clock down to 4. Jordan. And Rodman and Bukowski get involved. It looks like Pavetta has given the ejection sign. This has been brewing the last couple of minutes. I think he's thrown both out of the game. Bukowski ejected, flagrant foul 2. I thought Pavetta indicated that both were tossed. Let's see.
Well, this has been brewing ever since these two have gotten on the floor there, as this time Bukowski does get that forearm and elbow right into the Adam's apple of Dennis Rodman. But George Karl, who was ridiculing Rodman for all the things that he was getting away with after Game 1, had nothing but praise for Dennis Rodman after Game 2. I think we're going to hear more ridiculing after this one.
Dick Pavetta gave a succession of thumbs, but apparently he was making it clear that it was Bukowski who was gone, and Rodman remains, and now he and Kemp are having words.
Very difficult for George Karl to ridicule the starting power forward, leading rebounder in the series when you're down 3-0.
5:45 remaining in the 4th quarter.
Phil Jackson should do this game a favor and maybe take Rodman out.
Rodman and Kemp coming together, and Kemp picks up number 5. On the other hand, Phil Jackson may be enjoying the fact that Dennis Rodman has gotten into the heads of the Seattle players. And Michael Jordan just came over, giving us a look as if to say he's kind of amused by it, but what's going on here?
And Phil Jackson just peeking up at the clock again, wishing this thing would end without getting any further incident from Dennis Rodman. Phil Jackson, I'm sure, has already started thinking about Wednesday, and he knows they'll want to have Dennis Rodman on the floor.
But Dennis is quick to point out that he has not thrown a punch in 10 years in this league.
Bulls 96 and the Sonics 70 in a blowout. Sonics did rally, got within 11 with their surge in the third quarter, but the Bulls picked it right back up in the fourth. We're coming up on 5 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter.
Again, Mark, a nice play by Gary Payton, but just one guy involved. Dribble up the whole way, get in the post.